for sure? How do you know for sure? How do you ever really know?
How do you know?
Oh, we're on TV. Oh, man.
Got this weird delay in there, I hear. Again. I don't know why.
Are we live?
We should be live. Whoa. Whoa. Let me look. Are we here?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome
to
the Outhouse podcast.
We are live.
MediaFarm.
Turn my volume down.
You know what?
Welcome to the MediaFarm here on the Outhouse podcast. Everybody, you know what I don't see?
What?
I don't see our background.
Looks kind of green back there.
There's no roosters.
Brrrt.
No hens.
Have to put the image to the top, Z. Right below where you're at. Just click on image and then hit the arrow down below it up to the top.
Move it up.
There
Move it on up.
One more.
Whoa. I look better like that.
Or baby, move it back down. Oh no.
How do you know for sure? How do you know for sure?
I don't know what's going on there. It was working yesterday. Oh well.
How do you know
Come
for
on,
sure?
man.
How do you ever really know?
Anyway,
Oh, look at that.
now we're gone.
The
I guess just leave us like that. I don't know.
green Manalishi.
I don't know. It usually works. I don't
Yeah.
know. We'll have to tweak. We're on some new equipment, so hey. Don't forget the views and opinions expressed by the individuals in the following program do not necessarily reflect those of the Outhouse podcast or its affiliates or even its guests.
We're just screwing around and having some
What's
fun.
up, Gary?
Talking shit.
Yeah, we
about
see it's
shit.
all green. We was just trying to figure that out. What's it sound like? We're all on a new equipment now.
Sound
We're not
good?
no longer on the laptop. We're on the big computers. Kind of weird in the earphones. Uh-oh. Something
Oh,
weird going
man,
on.
look at
Z's
that.
back there trying to get it working for us.
Right? Hopefully, Really Biggs joins us and you can tell me, what do we sound like, Really Biggs?
Yeah. So with us here, we have Myko Man.
Yeah.
What's
I'm
going
here.
on, man?
You guys are going on.
Yeah,
You guys
man.
are going on, man.
I'm going to tell everybody his real name. That's just his stage name. His real name is John Doe.
Johnny Joe.
As far as you know,
Yeah.
it's John Doe.
So,
Good to be incognito.
Right? We're making rhymes over here. What is this, a rap show?
and by the way, Ed has once up north to Camel Toe, just, past Saskatchewan.
Right?
He went on one of those, what's that, ayahuasca thing
An
deal?
expedition. Yeah, trying to
And he'll be back like in a month or something.
Trying
I
to
don't know.
find that
We're gonna
hole.
Figure it out.
In
looking for the
Alaska?
hole over
Sounds
there.
good over there, Gary.
There's no holes in
We don't have to
Alaska,
pump it out now.
He's at Moose Crack, Saskatchewan.
Moose crack.
Yeah.
man.
It's
Looking
fishy
for
up there.
the haunted hole. Hope he finds her.
Oh, that's scary.
Mm-hmm.
What's up, Ed?
We don't have no. Oh, wait a minute.
My brother.
I'm like, why don't I hear nothing?
Oh, yeah. We got a,
We got Jimmy back there. No Owl tonight, everybody. He's also MIA. We can't get a hold of him, so
Right.
hopefully by next week he'll
Maybe
be
he's
back.
in Alaska, too.
Yeah,
yeah,
who
he might
knows?
be. Maybe I think he's stowed away in a suitcase.
That could be.
Yeah.
Very well could be.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Mhm.
Jimmy out there busting out some acoustic jams tonight,
Oh,
which
I
is
forgot my clicker for the light for
pretty
him too.
cool. Where's your clicker? Where I'm in the hood where I'm from, clicker means a whole different thing. So you get some,
Uh-huh.
What does it mean, man?
take you some clickers. So those ones will make you speed up a little bit.
So you're the click man. I heard about you guys.
Give me a clicker.
Yeah.
Right then. So what's going on, Myko, man? It's been
Lots
a
of
while
stuff.
since I've seen you.
Yeah, about 5-6 years, man.
Myko Man was the drummer for Teaser, which like he had said when he come in, the Rooster, Larry.
Yeah, Rooster.
Them guys was
Teaser.
all jamming in there. I was running sound and lights for a hot minute for them guys.
Forgot about Teaser back in the day.
That band's had plenty of people through it, boy.
Yeah, yeah. That was just a
auditioned-
mudslide.
I was auditioning way back in the day. Barry said, "You hit too hard on the drums." I'm
Never
like,
heard of
okay.
such a thing.
Me neither.
I've never been told that.
Hit too hard. No such thing.
I was like, okay, peace.
They're all cranked up the Marshalls, you know.
Yeah, it's like
that's
you gotta
okay.
hit hard, man, to
That's
keep up
exact-
with them.
Yeah, you sure do, man. Yeah.
What? Who you gigging with nowadays?
S&P. It's a Susan Marie project, and so Susie is a redheaded gypsy girl, badass. Her
Sweet.
husband Fred plays bass, and I play drums and sing. We all sing.
Nice.
Cool. Yeah. Kind of rock blues, a lot of original stuff. It's fun.
Down around in the area, you got any gigs coming up?
Yeah, I'm playing at the Big Dog Saloon Friday night
Big
down in Ravenna.
Ravenna.
That reminds me, you got any sponsors on this show?
Oh, we
Mr.
do.
Tom DeLo.
Shit, we done went through it and forgot, didn't we? We do have some sponsors. We do have Gattuso's Music at 1300 Market Avenue North, Sparta Lounge, 1101 12th Street Northwest, and Plant Art at 1524 Fulton Drive. And remember, if you say the F word, the quarters go in, and that is for Humble Creatures at 3123 Cleveland Avenue.
Whoa.
Because they are the best vets. The best vets. What's going on?
That was me.
Oh.
I turned the chair. I'm not used to having arms.
I
I'm
felt
usually
like
in
the
that
whole
chair.
building moved. I was like, whoa.
Radiating,
What in
man.
the hell is going on?
Yeah, well, you know what?
Pulsating.
I'm filling some big shoes over here with Mr. Ed.
Yeah, it's a little different without Eddie. Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I had as
dude.
cool a voice as Ed. Ed's got the best voice ever.
So Eddie
Damn
normally
good.
sits there.
He
no, I normally
sits
sit there and see. There's no arms on that chair, so I can swing it to the left and swing it to the right.
Yeah, baby.
Don't mind swinging it every single night. But,
Every night.
You're a dog.
but now I'm over here. I'm on this side of the table.
Yeah, man. So
Little bit
music's
different.
going good for me. I've got a lot of different projects going on.
That's what's up.
Where now Tom knows you, but I don't. So where are you from? Where's your home?
Originally from North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
Then I went to Tennessee, then Reno, Nevada, Hawaii, back to South Carolina,
I
then Missouri.
Damn, he's all around. I could tell by your Jersey accent that you wasn't from these parts.
And no,
What part of Carolina?
Raleigh.
Raleigh.
Right.
Yeah.
I've been through there. Nice
Yeah.
down there.
You know,
Yeah, man, it's good.
it is nice down there. And I've traveled a little bit in the South, and I noticed there's two kinds of Southern accents. One Southern accent makes a one-syllable word too, like Jeff would be JF, and then the other one would make a two-syllable word one, like Jeffrey would be Jerry.
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Mhm. That's right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There it is. Oh, no, I still hear the echo.
And so
I found it.
when I first came up here, people thought I would always get Texas. You from Texas? So sometimes I was flexible.
You have that
You
Texas.
tell them no, just my exes are down there.
Yeah, well, it depends on where they wanted me to be from. You know? Yeah, I'm from Texas. Oh yeah.
Depends. Do you like Texas?
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
You ever been down there, Texas?
I have. And the sky is big in
It
Texas.
is big, isn't it?
It really is, man. I kind of.
It's weird because you go down there and you're like, wow, everything is really big in Texas. Their
Yeah.
trains, their everything.
Probably the rent too. I
Yeah.
imagine, so.
I've been in Abilene and Belton and Waco and all that down through there. Stayed a few.
Yeah.
Well, actually, there was a little town outside of Abilene.
Forgot where the hell I was
that
at.
one called? Baird, Texas. Baird. My dad had a place there. It was pretty cool.
So then, Micah, when did you lose the bet?
San Antonio. That's where I was at.
When did you lose the bet that brought you to Ohio?
I actually came up here with a friendly dancer.
Ah,
I had a guy that was bartending at the Dollhouse. He was in one of the bands I was in, so I could go out there and drink for free. So I met a
I was
girl.
gonna bust your balls there, and you're like, I met a friendly dancer, and then you're like, this guy. I was like, okay, well, hey, you know what? To each their own.
He was friendly enough to give me drinks, you know.
Yeah.
And then I met her and came up here for Thanksgiving, and I saw a band in the Scene magazine, and that's how I ended up coming up here.
That thing still around? The Scene magazine?
I don't know, man.
I don't either.
I have no idea. It was then. That was in '93, October '93. I came up here.
And you liked it so much, you're still here
Yeah.
30 years later? How many years is that?
House, it's a lot, man.
30.
It's a lot, dude. Yeah, I like it up here. It's cool. Like when I go back to Carolina now, it's not as much. It's changed so much. So I think you get used to where you're at.
Yeah.
So still got a lot of friends down there, but I only go back a couple times a year.
It is cool down there.
Mm-hmm.
I used to go down there for the swap meet in Concord at the Speedway over there and pick up classic cars and sometimes take them down to sell and that kind of stuff. And,
That's cool.
Yeah, it was fun.
It's up around Charlotte, isn't it?
Yeah,
Concord?
Charlotte. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's where all the NASCAR guys are, Lake
Yep.
Norman.
Yep. Yeah, I stayed on the lake there one time. That was cool. Stayed in a rental place. It was like when they advertised it, they only showed one part of the house. Well, it turned out it was like a 20,000 square foot house. And the lady we rented it from said, well, there's nobody else staying, so if you guys want to access the rest of the house, go ahead. Psh, man, we were getting lost in that thing. Be like, have to call, hey, what part of the house you in?
That's cool. Lake Norman's nice, man.
Yeah, it was real nice.
It's real nice. Mm-hmm. There's a joke about, can you tell jokes here?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Two southern ladies were sitting on the porch. Martha, did I tell you what Charlie bought me for my birthday? Matilda says, no, what did Charlie buy you for your birthday? He bought me a nice, shiny new Cadillac. Really now? That's nice. That's real nice. Matilda, did I tell you what Charlie bought me for Christmas? No, what did Charlie buy you for Christmas? Bought me a nice, big old vacation. I can go for 2 weeks without him. Oh, that's nice. That's real nice. Did I tell you what he bought us for our anniversary? No, what did he buy you for your anniversary? Bought me a brand new house, and I can have all to myself without him. Oh, that's nice. That's real nice. Matilda, how come you always say that's nice? That's real nice. And I got to get my quarter out. She says, that's better than saying fuck you. My mama taught me better.
Yeah, I met
You owe
some,
1 quarter.
I'm down a quarter.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to a guy, and I don't remember the city, but it was very southernmost tip of North Carolina, and he was originally from somewhere in Georgia, but he was a funny guy, and I was asking him to send me pictures. Now this was a while back, this was before cell
So
phones.
you want to bust my balls now, right? You got guys sending you pictures. I got you, man. I got you.
I should have said pictures of a Chevelle, and I said, well, can you just send me some, get a digital camera and, take some pictures and email him? He goes, son, we ain't got no digital cameras around here.
He had a Kodak probably.
Yeah, he cracked me up, but yeah.
That's
I ended
funny.
up going down there and buying that car. It was a 68 or 9 Chevelle. I kind of forget now.
That's nice, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No rust down there.
Nope, no rust. Except from the moonshine. We rust kind of quick off the moonshine, but yeah.
I was hoping the trunk was full of some moonshine, but it didn't work out that way. So.
There's a place outside of Raleigh called Lizard Lick, and it's named Lizard Lick because back in the day when the moonshine stills were going, lizard would go lick a moonshine still and then come back and pass out in the road. So they call it Lizard Lick.
Wow.
I wondered how it got that name.
That's how they got the name, man. It's the real deal.
That's crazy.
That reminds me of an Indian kid, a Native American Indian that I knew, and he was telling me about how the chief named the babies. I forget what they call baby Indians. Like they got a name for it, but he said he went into the chief and he asked him, how do you come up with these names, And the chief said, well, when a baby Indian's born, I take him outside and I hold him up to the sky with my eyes closed. And I say a little prayer to the gods, and when I open my eyes, the first thing that I see is what I name him. Why do you ask me, 2 dogs fucking?
Boom. You're both down one now.
We're feeding the dogs already, aren't we, man?
See, I brought mine.
This show
usually
brought to you by
forget.
Alpo.
By the letter F and the letter U.
Right.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. But I've traveled around a lot, man. Went to the Army when I was 17, and so that was a quick discipline situation right there for a young man who needed probably a little discipline.
Z's a beast.
Got it going.
I think she did. Our producer's the best.
Oh, nice.
Oh, look at that.
There we go.
You kind of broke stride though because you haven't got up to go fix something.
I
on
know,
this
right?
episode
And
yet.
you know, I'm over here shaking and shit,
I was
going
thinking
through mental whatever you call that.
any minute he's gonna go.
Uh huh.
They call those lapses, lapses insanity, man. I have them a lot.
Right then.
Yeah,
So,
right.
as you was saying, where have you been? This is killing me, that echo that I have. It's weird because I don't hear it in you guys when you talk. I just hear it for me. It's weird.
Huh.
It's like a real short delay, almost like a chorus. It's really weird in
You
my
might
ears.
start singing us a song.
I know, right?
That's all right.
Yeah.
We'll be bringing back the chicken coop live before too long. Anyhow, now we got
Heck
this
yeah.
shiny new equipment.
And I see she's a running on excellent, even though we ain't upgraded the internet yet.
Maybe our man Javon hooked us up down at.
What's up, Zach Chorus? That's Jimmy back there playing acoustic behind us.
Jimmy Coco Bop.
Jimmy's back in the room, man.
In fact, I
jamming.
think last time Zach seen Jimmy, he was still in diapers.
Man, you can't hear Jimmy.
See, I do got to get my clicker.
There he goes.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
Got to get that clip, man.
We did not break tradition. Get that clicker.
I got to get my clicker
Gotta
so
get
he
the
knows
clicker.
we're coming. Go ahead and flip to him real quick, Z. I forgot to take the damn display off, too.
That's cool,
One of
man.
these days, I'm going to get it.
I always wanted a gold tooth display.
All right, bring us back.
James Brown has a tune to hit it and quit it. Hit it
Yep.
and quit it. The Sex Machine or something like that.
Thanks for hanging out, everybody.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, back to where have you been? What you said you was in the Army and what?
Yeah, I was in the Army. From Reno, Nevada, I went to Hawaii and enlisted in the Army in Honolulu, Hawaii, from Maui.
Nice. What was that like?
He got
Over in
laid.
Hawaii.
Hawaii, I got bored after about 6 months.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, because
It's a pretty small place, really, huh?
Maui was, yeah.
I mean,
I worked in a Dole pineapple company.
really?
Yeah, it was me and one other white guy, man. Everybody else was, native islanders.
Wow.
Did you ever eat
Well,
any
of
of
course,
that
yeah.
poi
I mean,
out there?
I did not know.
now I hear they don't like, people from
They don't.
the
man.
mainland, the
No.
mainlanders they call them.
Haoles.
They don't like us.
Halle boy, they call me Halle boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't know what it meant, so it didn't make it didn't make shit to me. They call me, whatever. And so, so I was triming the pineapples when they come down the assembly line.
Uh-huh.
And one of the experiences, this other white guy wanted to know if I wanted to smoke some Maui Wowie, and I never smoked anything.
Wowie, man.
And of
I heard
course,
of-
I said, "Yeah, sure, man." That was a bad move because I was like, coming back and those pineapples are flying now at that time, going down the assembly line, and it was like I couldn't keep up. These little ladies were looking at me smiling because they couldn't communicate really well. They spoke English, but it was kind of, I don't know, different kind of English.
Right.
And so I just kind of kept focused on doing nothing, but I did that for real good. But yeah, that was a good experience, in Hawaii. But
Do you
Did
eat
you
a lot
get
of macadamia nuts?
I was gonna say, did you get sick of eating pineapples, or do you,
I smell like it,
still
man.
have a phobia today from that?
Kind of. Because going back, we lived up island, Makawao, and so the cannery was down island, and so every day I had a Honda 300 motorcycle, and so I'm riding up the hill, and I smell like pineapples flying all off of them, probably, and so yeah, all your clothes smell like pineapple, everything's like pineapple.
Wow.
Kind of bizarre.
Uh-huh.
But yeah. So I did that, but after about 6 months, I was bored. So that's when I went. You got to be bored to go into the Army.
I guess so.
So I was bored because I wanted to work on the cars,
Yeah.
and it was peacetime. All I cared about was working on the cars, So I ended up playing racquetball and working on cars, man.
That's cool.
It is. It's pretty cool.
Living in Hawaii, huh? I
Well-
mean, when you listed, where did they send you?
Fort Jackson, which is South Carolina,
Right.
And that's where I did basic and AIT down there, and then permanent was Fort Leonard Wood.
Or
That's
said
in
it?
Missouri. It's 123 miles from St. Louis and 80 miles from Springfield.
Oh shit!
So it's pretty much, they call it Lost in the Woods.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
And you just worked on vehicles, huh?
I sure did. I worked them.
You went from eating
right on.
pineapple to barbecue.
Yeah, yeah,
A lot of barbecue
yeah.
over there.
Saw a lot of great concerts though in St. Louis.
Oh yeah,
Sure
for
did,
sure.
man. Yeah.
St. Louis is a really cool town.
Yeah.
I've been there. Me and the Rooster, when we went to go pick his kids up in Texas, we went the northern route, went straight across, stopped in St. Louis on the way there, and it was nighttime, so we hit all the bars and all that on that whatever dress.
Say it ain't so.
Yeah.
Say it ain't
And
so.
had a little fun that night, jumped in, took off to Texas, and then got the kids, and on the way back, when we got to St. Louis, it was the first thing in the morning. So we went and got some breakfast at this little diner, and then went up in the arch and down in the museum that's underneath of it.
Oh, that's cool.
And checked out some of the parks and shit. It was pretty fun time. St. Louis is cool. They got them cobblestone roads. You can get carriage rides and all that shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Bars on. I forget what the name of the one street is, but it's like the Flats in Cleveland, man. There's just bars on both sides. All kinds of different music playing, no matter what you want to hear. People just having good times.
Cool. Yeah.
Of
I'm
course,
still stuck
that was 20 years ago, but or
I'm
better.
stuck on Hawaii. I got lots of questions. Did you go to any Don Ho concerts when you were in Hawaii?
Nope, I did no Don Ho. No, but I remember like it was a big deal on TV over there. He's played like ukulele and stuff, and
Yeah, singing Tiny Bubbles and
yeah,
whatever.
yeah. I wasn't, I was 16, so Tiny Bubbles wasn't on my playlist.
But it is now.
That's what she said.
Man, I got scarred watching the Brady Bunch because they went to Hawaii and they found that little charm on the beach.
Yeah,
Remember that?
yep.
And
Brought
then
it back.
some people got hurt and it was all bad luck. I was like, damn, if I'm ever in Hawaii,
I ain't going
picking
to
up- I
Hawaii,
ain't picking up
man.
nothing on the beach, man.
Especially one of them little wooden carved dolls.
Right?
Nope. Ain't doing it.
I've been escaping with Marsha in a bathing suit.
Oh, Marsha.
Marsha.
One of my first crushes when I was a kid.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. I remember the posters of Raquel Welch and what's her other name?
Well, I like Betty Rubble.
I bet you
Oh.
did.
With their double bubble.
Yeah. That dark hair and that blue dress.
You know what her maiden name was?
What's that?
McBricker.
Nick Bricker, huh?
Betty Jean McBricker. I actually won some
Are
trivia
you talking
contest.
about like the real actress name?
No, on the show, there's an episode where her and Wilma are cigarette girls at
I
a
remember
place.
that.
Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
And Wilma says, Betty Jean McBricker, and says something.
Oh,
And
I
that
never
stuck.
caught that.
And I was at where it was at? It was a weird place. I was at Norwalk Raceway Park at the drag strip.
Uh-huh.
And they were having this trivia thing, and the guy's I got a question that'll stump anybody, and he asked it, and I'm like, well, I know the answer.
Blew him up.
He's like, what? How do you know that? I'm like, I saw that episode too, dude.
Oh, damn. That's funny.
I wouldn't have remembered that.
McBricker.
Betty Jean McBricker. Yeah.
That's wild.
Everything was about rocks.
Right?
McBricker.
Yeah.
That
I
sounds
guess-
like a good song name or a band name, Betty Jean McBricker.
I guess Barney
Good
wanted
old
to
country band.
McBricker, I guess. I don't know.
It's a long domain name.
Yeah, right.
I'd be lost about halfway through that name.
Right.
Well, that's a good setup for you. Got a website or anything?
Yeah,
I do.
Speaking of domain names.
I was going to say that earlier, Facebook and all that.
Yeah, mykoman.com. mykoman.com.
MYKOMAN. All
Yeah.
right.
mykoman.com.
You got
I got
YouTube?
that name, man, originally from YouTube. I was playing with a guy named Mojo Collins, who's in the Outer Banks now. Still, he's probably about almost 80 now, still playing. But we played the Jazz Fest. We played with him off and on for about 13 years. And so Mojo, then everybody was called O. Like I ended up being Myko, and then some girl was named Fabo, and everybody had a bow at the end of it.
Yeah.
Mojo, Joe. And so I just kind of kept that name. And then when I started doing a solo project, I wanted something that was one word. So,
That's cool. Yeah, it worked out.
Myko Man, so I thought that'll work.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Me and Larry used to work for this guy that he'd call everybody, he'd be like Myko Bob, Tom Bob, Otto Bob. He'd put Bob after everybody's name.
Yeah.
That's funny.
When I worked at a Chinese restaurant, the China's Great Wall used to be over in Belden, and they would talk in Chinese, and we'd know they were talking about us because you hear like auto, like I know you're talking about me. So I started talking in Pig Latin one day, like and they're like, what you say? So me and all the staff, all the non-Asian staff would talk Pig Latin, and they never figured it out.
That's
so,
funny.
That's correct.
That's funny. Except one day they did. and you were in the cat dish.
Man, I'm not gonna lie. I saw some. So the cooler in there was pretty big, and there was an area that was partitioned off. And one day on a Saturday, I had to go back there for something, and I come around the corner, and man, I grow up around people killing stuff and eating it, and I don't know what I saw hanging back there, but there was some weird stuff hanging back there, man.
No kidding,
like
man.
unidentifiable four-legged creatures.
Was you in Springfield?
No.
Oh.
No, I was at the real place where that story originated,
okay.
which was Canton. So
Wow. Wow.
yeah.
Did you see that on the news? That chick eating that cat?
No, I kind of missed out on that.
That was
deal.
right up around the way.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's that lady's name that speaks for the White House?
Kareem something or another?
Yeah, she's telling lies again. Talking about Haitians not eating a cat. She's Haitian, and she goes home and eats pussy every night. So.
Boy, he needs some money
But
paid back.
I will say this though, I've done extensive research, and other than hearsay, there's no evidence of them guys eating them. Now, I'm not saying they're not,
Yeah.
but nobody's got no pictures or no video, and everybody's doing all this running their mouth. Now, I only picture, and it's not even a video, it's a picture of the one dude holding a goose. I've seen that, and then I've heard tell of all these people, but yet nobody has any videos or any pictures of these guys, like snatching them up or nothing.
I think
As far as I haven't found. If anybody does, put it down there in the comments later, or send it to me over there on Tom Dalo at Facebook.
Yeah.
That
To me,
messenger.
it's,
send me the link, because I ain't seen shit yet.
it's fun to crack jokes on, but for myself personally, I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Eat it. Eat
The
a
funny
frog,
thing, I
eat a
thought-
squirrel, eat a cat. If you're hungry, you know what I'm saying?
I was like, the one dude was on something I was watching, and he was like, they was running a clip from the news, whatever I was watching. The dude was like, yeah, there was a bunch of stray cats around here now, and they're almost gone. I was like, wow, they got rid of your cat problem. Cool.
Right? They should have had somebody in the background
you don't have
with
to
a toothpick.
spade or neuter them bad boys anymore.
That'd have been the best story, Tom. Have somebody in the background with a toothpick, like just
Right.
nodding, like with
I
a
mean,
big fat belly.
it's funny because different cultures, like cows, they worship cows.
Right.
We're over here eating cows.
Right.
So they would think we're a bunch
Sacred
of
cows
asshats,
make the best burgers.
That's right. That was kind of funny. But so all these cultures have different vibes, and they eat different whatever they eat.
Yeah.
Gary says Mexican tenants at my job love pigeons. Hey, pigeons are good.
Well, I wish
Did you
they
ever
would.
eat one?
They would eat geese, because geese. I heard that that the devil made a deal with God to be able to create one creature, and that was the goose. So I mean,
So why is that, man?
oh man, geese. If you've never been around them at all, they're
nasty.
mean. They crap
Shit everywhere.
like it's their job.
It's that funky green shit. Too.
Right, and they
White
will
and brown.
attack and kill everything. Like I had a
They're
pond
mean.
for a while. They killed all my ducks. They attacked all my little nieces and nephews. They'd come at me and stuff, and I can't tell how I remedied the problem.
Prepared
but
them for dinner.
They're probably the ones eating the cats over there.
yeah, right.
Yeah,
might.
really.
But I've often thought, why don't we feed the homeless with geese? And who's out there protecting? Even animal lovers are like, how dare you? Oh, it was a goose? I mean,
Well, I've said that often, with the deer population.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like up there in the Cuyahoga Valley net park system up there, they're overran with them. It's like, well, why don't you guys let them guys go in there and bow hunt and crossbow hunt?
That and rabbits.
Take them out, man. Feed them to the homeless and all that kind of stuff. I guarantee you, if they made like a tag to where they could go kill the deer and it would go to the homeless people, there'd be tons of hunters that go do that.
For
just
sure.
to knock the population down and to help out, man. That'd be two good things at one time.
What's that show, man, where they have 24 hours to kill whoever they want to kill? It's on some kind of Netflix. It's some show. Purge.
I haven't seen it.
Purge. It's called Purge.
I haven't seen that one
They
yet.
could do that with deer, man.
Right?
Yeah,
You got
deer
24
purge.
hours with your bow and arrows, man.
For some reason, that's making me think of a David Allan Coe song. I think it's called "Dear Penis," but I don't think he's talking about the same.
Dear penis. That ain't David Allan Coe, though, is it?
I don't know. I think it is, but maybe not.
I don't think I've ever heard that, man.
I've
I
heard
missed
that
out a
one.
lot in
That's
my
a
life.
comedian not so long ago. At their song.
But they might be talking about something different. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
so.
I guess there's a lot of variations of deer
Right.
penis, huh?
I guess suppose. I seen a guy actually eat a deer penis on TV.
Whoa.
That Andrew Zimmer guy. You ever see that guy? He's on a Food Network, and he goes around and he eats bizarre foods.
By
you know
God,
how-
I got this here fried possum pecker. You want to try it? Dip it in
Right.
barbecue sauce.
Like I saw, he drank warm jackass milk somewhere in a Latino country somewhere, like off the side of the road. He ate monkey brains. Like, remember that old Faces of Death movie where they
I
like,
seen some.
yeah. But this good.
That
That's
shit is crazy.
that's what he does for a living. He goes around and eats what would make a billy goat puke. You know,
not
but,
me.
Wow.
but some of it he says is actually good.
I bet.
Some of it's actually good. The rest of it, I guess
The
it's
rest
not.
of it, hey, he's getting paid. So
I was watching the Hodge twins put out
Wow.
a video today that
Wow.
had some chick sucking on a goat's teat, getting goat milk. And it was going off on it. It was funny. Boy, look at her go! All this shit. But I mean, and then they was laughing because there's flies flying around its ass. Like, yeah, you're gonna suck on this goat while he's, I bet that smells like ass and all this shit. I was cracking up. I was like, these guys are too much, man.
I've had people bust
But why
on
would
me
you
for.
want? I mean, just grab this shit and suck on it. Wouldn't you want to like put it in a cup or something? Just grab a hold of that some.
Well, maybe she's practicing for when she gets
Well,
home.
she
right?
He had
Doing
ulterior
something.
motives.
She had a smile when she was done. Like, did one of them. So I was like, okay.
That reminds me of the girl that couldn't talk that was in the sperm bank. Going,
Oh, boy.
Finally,
She
she
was
goes.
mumbling.
She goes. I was trying to make a deposit.
Oh, wow.
I wish you wouldn't have said nothing to me, sir. Now I got to do this again.
This is the farm, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn it, that was an NBA player.
All of Myko's fans that are on here like clicking off now, like, man, I thought this was some serious stuff.
No,
Now
they're
guys
calling their
know,
buddies.
man.
They're calling their
Talking
buddies. You
shit
got to hear
about
this
shit,
shit.
son. When you're on the Outhouse podcast, anything goes.
talk shit about shit.
So
I don't even know if any of my buddies know how to use a computer. That's what I like about my life, Everybody's dummied down.
Yeah,
I get away with more stuff that way, right?
Wrong with that. I rocked a flip phone until I absolutely had
I did the same
to get a
thing.
smartphone, and I actually miss it.
I was like,
wish
no.
I still had that.
That was when times were simple, man.
Shit, I remember.
I was watching
Yeah.
some comedian
Yeah,
this
me
morning,
too.
actually.
Me
He was
too.
talking about that. He goes, nowadays you can't just be mad at somebody and hang up and make the bell. Remember when you used
Right,
to slam
yeah.
the phone down and
Yeah.
make it ring and shit?
Yeah.
He goes, you can't
Yeah.
do that no more. You do that now. He goes, you can't even slam it in your pocket. You end up messing your pocket up. I was dying, dude.
Back when
He
I was a
making
kid,
all these references. It was funny. Go
you
ahead.
didn't even have to dial an area code like in Louisville. You
Mm-hmm.
call and order a pizza, and they'd be like, "What's your number?" You'd be like 4566. And that was it. You could literally just dial 4566, and it would
Mm-hmm.
ring local to your local phone.
I'll be damned.
And I always wondered if it was like that in other parts of the country, but it was there. So
I don't
get
I
over there.
remember.
that.
I don't remember the
cool.
4 number, but I remember like the number for here back in the day was 453-4547, and it was like that since I was a kid. And then they put the area code on it was 216,
right.
and then they switched it to
330,
330.
the dirty 330. That's
And
what
that was the other thing dude was talking about. He goes,
3330.
he said,
right.
imagine back in the day, we had to remember everybody's phone number. And he was like, and Millie, when the phone rang, you'd break your ankles trying to, catch it because you didn't
Right.
know who was on the other line.
Right,
All
right.
this shit, it was funny.
Do you remember back in the day in movies and TV shows when people would hang up the phone, they always they'd be like, "All right, And like look at the phone,
look
like
at it.
what are you looking at in there? I don't know.
Right,
Never figure that out.
It was like looking at it like, you really just said that?
You guys remember those the Jerky Boys?
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
Remember those?
Oh yeah, chisel chest.
Yeah. That was when it first came out. It was like crazy.
Right.
Crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy.
It was the first of its kind.
Nobody
like that.
was doing that
Yeah.
back then. Yeah.
Well, we did prank calls, and how do you get Arthur out of the can? What was that?
Yeah.
All these crazy, how do you get
right,
him?
like some cigars or something. You got King Edwards in a box. Well,
Yeah,
you better
some
let him
of that
out
crazy
before he
shit, right.
suffocates.
And we would just
Is your refrigerator
lie,
running?
just go
catch
crazy.
it?
Yeah. We used
Yeah.
to call Kentucky Fried Chicken, and if a lady answered, we'd be like, hey, so we're having a party. We want to order some food and this and that. I got a question for you. How big are your breasts?
What's that? Did you ever-
Entertainment was easy then, wasn't it?
Right? Yeah.
Did you ever hear them Roy D. Mercers?
No.
That dude, look him up on YouTube. That shit is
They some dirty ones, aren't they?
funny. They're not so much dirty, but they'll call. He's somebody on a radio show or something, and they call like he called this bowling alley and was like, yeah, I sent my kid down there, and they went bowling, and he was supposed to be in some kind of band or something, and he was like, yeah, he got this fungus on his fingers from your bowling balls, man, and man, I'm telling you what, he missed like 3 days of work and shit. He goes, you're gonna have to, compensate for his work. And all the dude's like, wait a minute. What do you mean he caught something from my? Yeah, man, my son was down there. He got a fungus out of your balls, bro. And this dude started like, no. He goes, no, I'll tell you what, I'll come down there and put a pop knot on your forehead and all this shit. He messes with them bad. It's hilarious. He gets them going, man. And it just all kinds of crazy shit. They
I went and
call
saw that
all different kind of business.
That Jerky Boys movie back in the day.
Roy D.
They actually had a
Mercer.
movie.
Was it
back
good,
then.
man?
Yeah, it was pretty funny. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty funny.
What do guys like that do? Like, how do you retire? I'm a retired jerky.
Right.
I mean, what do you do?
I had
Probably-
no idea.
After that, they probably went into writing for
Probably in
some other
Washington
show or
D.C.
something.
making the laws.
Right. Probably.
Well, I said they're probably writing for some other show.
Right.
Right.
That's
What's
definitely
the biggest shit show in the world? Washington,
Definitely a
D.C.
show.
Right.
Well, there's the answer. That's
It
where they all
doesn't
go.
take much to write for them sons of bitches.
Now it makes sense.
Right.
Now, if you become a politician,
Right.
I know that you get like benefits and stuff for life, but then are you in the Actors Guild too? Need some Academy Awards for some of that shit.
Yeah, some of them need to be. I think it's SAG, right? SAG.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of a funky thing to be calling yourself. We're SAGs.
We're SAG,
Yeah,
Screen
we're-
Actors Guild.
Yeah, we're SAGs. Especially her.
She's a hag. She's a hag sag.
Yeah, she got away from the SAGs and turned into the hags.
Gary says, how big of a boy are you? That's when he's arguing with them people. I'll come down and put a pop knot on you outside. Something about a mouse riding a motorcycle over something. So how big of a boy are you?
Some of them Jerky Boys ones, they're still funny. The one guy was like, you'll kick my dog. Your girl kicked my dog, and he gets these people all fired up to where they're screaming on the other phone. And
Now, I still got some more of them phone pranks that Ed and his brothers and Zoffi did. And I was going to put...
I remember that one, yeah.
And I was going to put the Tabian one, I think, on there, and they got all weird about it. And it was like, oh, well, they was talking about a gay guy and everybody nowadays. And I'm like, yeah, I still think I'm going to put that shit on there. I don't care. If you can't take a joke and being stereotyped, then I guess doesn't get off my channel. Because we're going to make fun of everybody.
Did you guys hear about that local...
That's why I'm here.
Right. Me too.
There's a local dude that was in the news. He's a epileptic dwarf chef.
What?
You didn't read about him? He's trying to open a pizza store. Calls it little seizures.
Dude, that's kind of funny. I was thinking, really, man, where's this guy?
Little seizures, yeah.
I bet there'd be some funky pepperonis in that place, man.
Did you ever read the book Moby Dick?
No, I did not actually read the book.
And then you
seen the
probably
cartoon.
didn't read the book about his father, Papa Boner.
Papa Boner.
We're bringing back the old jerky stuff,
Right?
That's funny.
We got jokes. We got jokes.
Yeah. So it's all
So maybe
good.
you can integrate that into your sets. You can have a little comic relief. Man, I got sweat in
Yeah.
my eye.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
All right, well, back to reality then. So, what age did you realize you liked music and started to go down the music path?
Elvis and the Beatles.
Mm-hmm.
Beatles probably on the Ed Sullivan thing. So I must have been probably 4 or 5, somewhere right in there.
Right on.
I didn't even know what was going on, but it was something going on. And then I liked that was when I had 45s.
Right.
You know, back in the day.
Right.
So I
These
had
are little discs for you kids that
Yeah,
don't know.
right.
You put on a little needle,
tiny little
they
discs.
spin.
And they'd have a song on one side and a song you never heard of.
They didn't like
sometimes
the
on the
heat
other
very
side.
well.
The
Yeah.
B-sides.
And you could stack them up, man. Remember
Right.
you could
They
stack
would
them up.
drop
They would.
all on their own as soon
Yeah.
as it got done.
Yeah, they would just fall right
They actually
down.
sounded pretty good too when you think
Yeah.
about it. You know?
I mean, records sound the best. It's the most warmest out of everything.
yeah.
I mean, if you got good stereo or really nice headphones and a good system, man, and you put on a record and close your eyes, it's like being in a room with the band, dude.
If these headphones had a big squiggly cord on them, they'd look like those
Yeah.
those old '70s headphones. and
That's
stuff.
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
But even when they're mixing, a lot of the guys will mix to analog,
Oh yeah.
record it in digital, and run it through
Right.
the analog.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Get that.
It's a lost art. Some of
Yeah.
the studio guys that I ran into in Nashville and Florida, they're bummed because there's nobody that really knows what instruments sound like anymore.
Right.
A lot of these guys, and then everything's digital, but it's hard to replicate that analog
It's an art.
sound.
You got to
Yeah.
get the right microphone in the right position, and that whole engineering thing. I mean, to do it right, man, there's a lot of science and shit involved in that.
And it makes a big difference too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what you hear in the studio, then the end product.
Right.
When you're done, you're like, well, shit.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's
Right.
it's truly learning an instrument in another world.
Right.
Right.
All the hours I put into the drums and everything, those guys are putting that into engineering.
Right. Right.
So, speaking of drums, so Ringo Starr was an influence for you? Listen to the Beatles? I couldn't
Oh,
tell you
yeah,
who
man.
Elvis's drummer is. I don't know.
Ronnie Tutt,
Ronnie Tuck.
and yeah, everybody's passed now, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but of course Ringo's influence for a lot of drummers, man, because he was such a it's what he didn't play. He was just one of them kind of guys. Everything he played was like perfect. And plus, when you grow up with something, you just assume that's the way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So you have these people; they become your influences because that's what you're hearing.
Right.
So, and that was top 40 was cool because you'd have Led Zeppelin, you'd have Chick-a-Boom, you'd have the Motown stuff, you'd have everything on top 40. And Three Dog Night was big, Grand Funk was big at the time.
Top 40 was a lot different back then.
Yeah, man, the Supremes, you'd hear Smokey Robinson, all these guys were on top 40.
Right.
So I was fortunate, we all were, to have that kind of variety hitting us. And so, speaking of Carolina, there's a beach music thing down there. They call it beach music, and it's shag dancing and all this. So it's a whole different vibe. And so I played in some horn bands. There's like 7 or 8 people in it. The full horn section is da 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 da. So it's kind of a smooth grooving thing, So it's like unique to that area. Like they'll still have beach music festivals like twice a year down in Myrtle Beach.
Yeah.
So it's pretty happening to go down there. Yeah, it's pretty happening. I can't shag
cool.
dance, but
Right.
and the word shag in Europe means something else.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And so
I was
yeah.
gonna ask, you don't know how to shag dance, but you probably know how to shag.
Knows
so-
how to shag, baby.
If you hum a few bars, I can fake it, right?
Right. And
Yeah.
so that makes you wonder, like on Scooby Doo, why they call him Shaggy? Right? He's rolling around in a van with a couple of hot broads with a nickname Shaggy. So I'm just
And he's
saying,
hanging with the dog. Figure that one
He's
out.
the real dog.
he's the real dog.
Fred's the man. I like Velma too with those glasses.
I like the miniskirt and the thick thighs. Like,
Me too.
Welcome.
I'm a sucker for some glasses.
ruh-roh.
Geez, all my cartoon
That's the Ed
fantasies are
thing.
coming out tonight.
You merge from the dog to the horse. That's cool, man. That's smooth. That's farmhouse rock right there.
Yeah, man, that's MediaFarm animals there.
MediaFarm.
The MediaFarm.
If I was a chick on here, I'd be like the MediaFarm or any cockle-doodle-doo.
Cockle-doodle-doo. You see, we say that because we got all these cocks and these pussies here.
Right.
We got this is our mascot.
Oh.
This is the little pecker. Got some black cock, some pussies.
It's like she's eating pussy.
Yeah.
I like your little kitty on the toilet bowl.
Mm-hmm. Got a singing pig. We're running out of room.
We got the horny clam.
Yep. You want some clam?
Want some cock?
I hate horny clams. When you walk on the beach, you got to stay away from the horny clams, man.
That'll hurt your feet.
Yeah, they will.
There they go. We're losing them now.
Because that's the brother of a crab. And you definitely don't.
No, none of that.
So you got to stay away. It all starts. That's like your what do you call that? The like the herb used to be called. It's the portal or whatever. You know the word.
Oh, the gateway.
The
drug.
Gateway. Yeah,
Those damn horny clams. Are the gateway crabs.
That was the gateway crabs.
Yeah.
No, I was working at a place when I was 16, and on a Monday morning I go in and I use the shitter, and the next day everybody's itching their crotch. Well, some dude brought in crabs and used the shitter before me, so we all got it, like everybody on my
Come
shift,
on.
and we're all and I didn't know what it was.
You
and
guys
I'm
all
like,
humped that same girl. That's how that
No,
goes.
man.
Come on now. Come on now.
Yeah, I wish it would have been better than just getting off a damn toilet seat, crapping out whoppers from Sunday night. But,
That's your lie. You tell it any way you
So
want.
I finally figure out what's going on, and so I had to go get the shampoo for it and the comb, and don't you know? So I go to a store I don't want nobody to know me at, and of course, you know what they did when I brought it up there? The price check.
Mr. Otto.
Yeah, how much?
Price check.
Hey, Barb, how much for
on
the crab and
formula?
shampoo? I'm like, really, man? I know he did it on purpose, too. You know what I'm saying? Because I was young. I was going up there. I had sunglasses on, my hat pulled down, And so, yeah, he yells across the door, hey, Barb, how much for the crab and lace shampoo? I need a price check. Come on.
That reminds me, I did a good one.
That's funny.
I did a good one at Walmart. I went up there and got some of those, essential oils, a few condoms, and one of those little vibrating deals for you. You know what? I go and of course I could have went to the self checkout, but no, I gotta find the prettiest chick there, of course, and go there. And she's like, bloop, looking at it, bloop, looking at it, bloop. And she's like, is that all you need tonight? And I was like, well, shit, do I need anything more? She was like, she turned all red and shit. It was hilarious, dude.
Hey, I'd have been like, yes, now I need your phone number.
Right.
So what time you get off?
She was probably
It
scared,
was
or
funny,
not.
dude.
Or not.
Maybe not.
Or not.
If you ask her when she gets off and she said as soon as I meet
As soon
you,
as I get on here with you, son.
then you know you're in there, man.
Bless her
That
heart.
was a funny one, though. She turned beet red. I couldn't believe she asked me, is that all you need tonight? I was like, damn, I need anything else? What else do I need for this adventure? Thought it was good, but what else is there for this? I'm intrigued.
You might have some song material after this. You write any songs? You can write a song about these
I
crazy
do.
mofos at the MediaFarm.
Yeah. I'm writing one now called The Island Man. It's about leaving everything. The media farms, leaving everything. Of course, the good news about this is you can travel to the island.
Right.
Media farm, yeah. But I write like whatever. So I got one called Tony the Gangster. We just wrote one with SMP not too long ago called Brewen, B-R-E-W, capital N. It's about, going to a party, Doms cracking whips because their subs are being naughty. It's a great song, man. It's probably going to be a classic, yeah. But, so, there's there's like 30 songs on my site that was written. Joe Vitale, you guys probably know Joe.
I know Joe.
He produced it and mixed it. And speaking of the analog stuff, he that's how he did it. Such a great. He and his son Joe Jr. Yeah, Joe's a master engineer, and Joe's he was able to really bring stuff out, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a great experience. It was a great experience.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, good people.
I get done doing maybe that might be an option for our mastering and
Yeah.
for the gas.
You never know. You might be over there, and then Joe Walsh pops in too.
Well, I see
hang out.
he stops in. I mean, him and Rick Gattuso's friends, so he comes into the shop all the time. In fact, that last time he was in, I was like, "Hey, buddy, you need a drum tech? I'm right here."
Well, I tell you what, we got to get him in here on the show.
Well, I was planning on it. I just wanted to get everything working right, so he don't come in and we have a meltdown or something weird like we was having. So
He's a cool guy.
Yeah, he
Great
is
stories,
really cool.
man. Great stories.
Really nice guy.
And his book was good. I read his book. It was a good book. It was good. It's interesting. You know.
Wait a minute. You can read?
Oh shit!
I had an interpreter.
Man,
she was real cute though.
we got us one of these
That little
educated
act
drummers over here.
I'm
I'll tell
educated.
you what.
I actually dropped out, man. I dropped out of school. That's why I'm so smart. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to do.
Didn't get fed all of them lies.
I was 16. I dropped out, and I've always had my own businesses and doing that type of thing. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So just had a different vibe, I guess. You know.
Right. I figured out that most of school was bull crap.
It is.
You know, still some
Other
of the
than the
stuff.
mathematics, that's the only thing that's really
Right.
even now though they're even you know, just work the problem. It don't have to be right. Just put forth an effort. Like what?
There's stuff I
That
still
shit-
remember that the only time I've ever used it is if it was a question on Jeopardy.
Right.
You know,
right.
nothing practical
Mm-hmm.
in life. So once I figured that out, I was done. To me, it was an obstacle in my way to making money.
Mm-hmm.
Like I couldn't wait to get out. So yeah,
Yeah, me
Me
too.
too.
I wanted to make money,
right.
and
I was making
fortunate,
money, but I was forced to stay to get my education because me and Larry other than my mom and her sister, you know, Todd and his brothers,
yeah,
we was the first ones to get high school diplomas out of our family.
really.
Yeah. So it was kind of a big deal for us. So I had to stay in and hang. I hated school, boy. Ooh, I hated it.
Yeah.
But
same.
yeah, them guys and me and Larry was the first ones.
The best part about school is they gave you a catalog. They called a yearbook with all the girls to pick from, so you could just go through. Oh, like Laura Sue. Oh yeah, yeah.
Yep. Then you get to hand it around. They put all their phone numbers on it, and then you don't never call them. That's what I did.
Oh, I called
Like a
them.
dumbass. I was too busy rocking and rolling, I guess.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
I was already into it by the time I hit high school and all that. I was already like, I don't need none of you girls. I was the time I had this bar with this 25-year-old. I wasn't playing. Fuck them teenage girls. I was hitting them older women's up.
You went to the same place after high school that I did. Upper UCLA, Upper Canton, Lower Akron. So, I really did used to say that. I was a corporate guy at one time, and that would come up. You know, people talk about their alma maters and whatever, and they'd ask me, and I'd be like, "Well, after high school, I was at UCLA." They'd be like, "Oh, UCLA, wow." Yeah, I'd be like, "Yeah, Upper Canton, Lower Akron." And they're just like, actually, like, is that a school? It was my school, old school.
Right.
Now, at one point, you had like what was that, like a music camp thing going on at that big-ass place?
Yeah, with Joe. We're the Warrior Music Camp,
Mm-hmm.
and 'cause I had done this thing out in Las Vegas called the Rock Fantasy Camp,
Right.
and I met a lot of great artists and just people in general doing it. Gene Simmons was out there, and great guy. He was a lot of fun. He was just real down to earth. Zach Wild.
Right.
Oh, wow.
There was quite a few. Phil Susan, he's the guy that wrote Bark of the Moon.
Mm-hmm.
With Ozzy, and so I actually was singing. You know, it's random when you do all this. So you go out there and instead of drumming, I was singing, and that wasn't my, you know,
Forte.
not really. You know, 'cause they had me just singing, and at this particular group, they had a recording studio at the Palms Hotel in there. So we were recording a song in there. You know, and then the guy that was Sebastian Bach.
Oh, yeah.
He came up to the studio.
He's
and,
really cool.
yeah. But I was in the vocal booth doing, you know, trying to do what I'm.
And
they
this
didn't-
guy walks in, and you're like,
Well, plus that, you know, they were not concerned about what key it was in.
Yeah.
You know, so it's up in this high register, you know, and all this time. And he walks in and just screams, you know, like for, you know, like he can.
Right.
And I'm thinking, so now what am I going to do? Right. What am I going to do? And so, yeah, it was kind of a brutal experience in a way, but nobody cared. But I mean, it was for me, it was like, you know, I'm following this guy.
Well, sure. Like, what the hell?
Right.
Exactly.
You know, so the other guys in the band were probably thinking, and we got this lame ass guy here, you know, and then Sebastian Mike gets up there, and, oh yeah. But it was a great experience. So we were doing Shout It Out Loud by Kiss. Gene Simmons, he says, he said, what does this sound like? And it was a Who tune. And he said, well, there you go. That's where I got this song. You know, so in other words, it's kind of, he was just basically saying everything's ripped off.
Hell yeah.
That was his whole point. He said, you know, dun dun dun. It was that dun 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 dun, that type of vibe, you know.
Right.
And you could tell immediately, I'll be damned. So it was a very cool experience. But I sung Mr. Crowley with Zach Wilde.
Oh.
And who was
cool.
another cool guy.
Oh,
now
yeah.
I was able to hit that, you know, for whatever reason. I never done it before, but I was able to hit it.
Nice.
The hardest thing for me was I'm better at it now because I've done it more, but remembering the damn words.
Oh, I'm so bad at that.
I mean, I'd never had to do that before. You know, I never had to do that before, and so when you're in front of all these people like that, you know, trying to remember the words and
Yeah, that'd be rough. Yeah.
so you know, I was glad there was a bar there. You know, and there was.
Loosen you up
bet.
a little bit.
Yeah. But that was a killer experience.
Bet.
What was your question again?
I was just about the band camp deal.
Oh,
or
the
whatever.
Warrior. So I kind of had this idea because where people could come locally instead of spending $10,000 or whatever to go to Vegas or do all this. How about somebody just wanted to focus, you know, 3 days and have them pick up at the airport and had the whole thing laid out. You know, I wrote the business model and all like this. And at that time, Joe was still in town. And so we were going to have drum classes, and then we knew guitar players that could, you know, so everybody would have their own key thing.
Right.
So, but I think what happened with that is Joe went out with Joe Walsh, and he played 2 gigs on my little solo project, you know, and that was so exciting.
Yeah, right.
Because
That'd
it's
be
you know it's a killer band, you know,
Right.
and yeah, and I could sing my own stuff, right, you know, because that was so it was just a fun experience,
Right.
And I couldn't replace him obviously when and so I ended up trying to doing the drum. I didn't want to do the drums and sing.
Yeah, it sucks.
I just didn't want to do it. You know, I do it in a cover band.
Right, it's all right for a song or two, but it takes one
Yeah.
way from the other if you want to beat. You know what I mean?
It does, man. It does.
Yeah.
It does. So it just kind of flittered out,
Right.
Because it's hard to replace Joe because he's such a
He's
good
a
player.
great drummer, man.
Yeah, and such a good guy. You know, but people would come in and they would hear I was able to do the drum tracks. I did my own drum tracks in the studio.
Right.
But they would try to do that instead of just playing with whoever they were, you know. So that's what people struggle with a lot in music, and they're trying to, like, if these cover bands, you know, you got to interpret the stuff. Especially when you can.
Right.
That's the objective, you know. I don't care really I rarely care what they're doing anymore. You know, unless you're playing.
Yeah, you got to put your own spin on it.
Yeah, because that's where the fun is.
Right.
You know,
Absolutely.
you're getting $10 a day. You know, might as well have some freaking fun. Now, you know, there's a good friend of mine, George McGrew, phenomenal player. He plays bass, plays keys, plays guitar, phenomenal. But he was in a Rush tribute band for years. And I surprised him. I was learning Rush in the mornings. Like I'd get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and to go out and learn Rush. And at first I thought this would be fun until I started
fun,
doing
all
it.
right, huh?
Until I started
oh,
doing it,
shit.
then I'm thinking, what in the hell, this freaking guy, you know?
Right.
It was so because there was no jam. Everything.
You got to be perfect.
I mean, you got to be perfect,
Right.
Or you're screwed. And so, and George didn't know I was doing it. So he and I ended up doing a 2-man Rush show.
Nice.
That's how good this cat was.
Wow.
You know, I was proud of myself just being able to keep up. But he had I bought a guitar synthesizer, so it sounded really cool. He could do the guitar and the bass. It worked. And they had the pads for the feet. You know,
Man, I
Right,
couldn't imagine
right.
having that much coordination and wherewithal to be able to keep track of all those different lines and then make your body do it. You know what I mean? That's
I do know what you mean.
These damn kids.
Yeah.
Back in the day, I started out with they was kids. They was their dad went to school with Larry, and it was the one brother played drums and the other brother played bass, keys, and sang, and they was doing 2-piece Rush with no guitar, killing it.
Yeah.
14 and 15, I think, when they started.
Oh.
But now the bass player, he's in that band Falling in Reverse. I don't know if you ever heard of them.
I have
they're
not.
they're like one of the biggest bands out there right now.
yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
They're selling out big fucking places. Whoop. Oh, right there.
Yeah.
You guys still owe one.
I know.
remember
I
that.
didn't bring in my wallet, so
I think Otto gets money back because he said something pretty cool. He takes money out at
No.
I'll
Ain't
redonate.
that cool?
I'll redonate it to the
keeper of the
cause.
gate says, "No, not that
Yeah.
cool. We got to feed them cats, man.
Uh-huh.
We got to get them cats
That's right.
back. Fatten
Right,
up the
there's
cats.
people that's
Yeah.
dependent on those cats. They got to feed a family somewhere. Man, you were mentioning Zach Wilde. I was, I think it was 93 or 4. I don't know. And I'm up in Michigan,
We're at
and I see this.
Power mark.
Well, I actually stopped to get gas. I was in Novi, Michigan, and I see this to-do going on in the parking lot, and I recognized some Marshall stacks and stuff. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go see what it is. Well, it was Zach Wilde. To this day, I have no idea why they were set up in this parking lot, but he bust out Voodoo Child. It was like, by the end, he's like playing it behind his head and with his teeth and stuff, and you know, it made a huge impression on me. And
Yeah.
so like 20 years later, now there was people videoing, but this was 93, I think, and so they're like, the cameras are like, you know,
the
like a
old
boom box
camcorder
with a lens on it,
VHS
you know.
tape inside.
Right, and my son is watching this video, and he goes, "Hey, Dad, check this guy out playing Voodoo Child." And I look, I was like, "I was there!" Like, it was
Wow.
popped up on YouTube 20 years later, you
I'll
know,
be
which
damned.
was, that was really
Crazy.
cool, yeah. But it's still on there. I still watch it from time to time. I'm going, man, I get just as blown away watching it this many years later, knowing what to expect, and you're still just in awe of the guy.
He's all that, man, and he was real fun. Told jokes. He was just a real down to earth guy. I didn't meet anybody that was a jerk. I mean, they were all nice people, fun people.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and they had theirs. Vince Neal came in. He was cool, nice.
Heck yeah.
Don't they call him? Didn't he change his name to Vince Meal with an M?
Vince Meal,
The big the multi-meal.
the Big Macker.
Ham hit a dog, I think, is one of the lyrics now. He says, "Did you ever see that where they got a video?" of him and-
Yeah, he did kind of go south there, didn't he, man?
yeah.
This would have been in probably 10 or 11, around in that time frame when I went out there and did that.
Yeah.
So he was still kind of cool then, you know, but I guess he found the buffet or something between now and then. I don't know, you know.
The last time I saw him wasn't. They were on the Red, White, and Crew tour, and a buddy of mine took me up to a venue that I can't even think of the name of. It was like Youngstown, Boardman area. And man, they still put on a great show, and it didn't sound like the YouTube videos where he's
Yeah, right.
inaudible, but yeah,
Right,
they still
right.
killed it. So yeah,
I would imagine they sound good with John 5.
yeah,
Oh, he's badass.
He
boy.
sure is. He sure is.
yeah. A girl
Looking
at Savannah was promoting it at the time. Actually got to meet him down in Columbus and hung out and said he was the coolest guy ever. So yeah.
No, man, he was just at the Winchester. In Winchester, if you haven't been there, it's in Lakewood. If you get a chance to go see a band, or like we saw Glenn Hughes the other night, Monday night, and that guy, that guy's phenomenal, Glenn Hughes. If you don't know who that is, he's worth looking up.
Yeah, I heard.
He's like in his 70s, and he can still do. He sang that tune "Burn" by Deep Purple,
Yeah.
and he was still doing it the other night. I mean, that's way up there. So, but anyway, Winchester's cool. But John 5 was there not too long ago. I wish I'd have gone to see
Oh
him.
yeah, I didn't know that.
So
yeah,
it's
that dude's-
like standing room only. There's no seats. It's like old school.
Huh.
No TVs and shit. It's,
Oh, wow,
it's all
cool.
about the music.
I've heard of it, but I've never been up there.
It's cool, man. The parking's kind of funky because it's right in the middle of Lakewood, you know. But my buddy Sammy took us down to a Cuban restaurant. So he's a couple blocks down there. If you ever go to that little Cuban restaurant 2 blocks down. Trust me, Even if you don't eat or drink nothing, just go to that restaurant. Just sit there.
I got an old girlfriend that lives in Lakewood. Hey, Marcy, if we're up there, you got to take me to the Winchester and the little Cuban
little
restaurant.
I think it's Barraco or something like that. It's something like that. But
Well,
woo!
Well, guess what?
Is it break time?
It is break time.
You
It is
break on the
that
farm,
time.
man.
That time. Let me get Jimmy on there. And we got to get our halftime music.
Oh, I was hidden
Kicked
behind my
in here.
thing. That's how you do it when you're ugly. You hide it behind the shit. You know?
Get this here real quick.
Whoa. There he goes. I hear my phone buzzing.
You do?
Yeah. Oh, no. Maybe I'm in trouble. I might have said something that offended somebody. I hope so.
Oh, man.
Should be having a briefing to
There it
mention in
is.
our feature presentation. We'd like to remind you all there are snacks and light
Shall
refreshments
we
at the front bar.
After these messages. We'll be back in a minute, guys. Stay in there. We're going to use the bathroom and get a drink. We'll be right
Second
back.
half of our program will begin momentarily. A little darker, slightly more sinister. Good times for all. Thank you and good night.
Oh, yeah. Everybody seemed to hang in tonight. Oh, shit. Breaking shit. Hot night. Hot night.
Well, back in the day, I did muscle cars.
Great for taxes, you know.
Right? Things have changed.
Yep. Things have changed.
Well, what was your favorite car back in the day?
Oh, she's...
Well, the Porsche 911 twin turbo.
Yes. Oh yeah, badass.
I mean, that thing was so fast. So fast.
And the throttle response for having a twin turbo is insane on those cars.
I was going like 90 or 110 or somewhere around there, and then it kicked in. And when it kicked in, it almost fishtailed. And that got my attention because there was a hill out where I lived, Seville Road, and you could see for miles, man. You know, so there's no, you could
get it cranked up pretty good.
You could
Getting it, huh?
Get it, dog. Yeah.
Thanks, everybody, for hanging out while we took our little break, because you know this is live. We don't edit shit around here.
Nope.
So we had to refill, use the bathroom.
Real deal. I went out and skinned a
Smoke
cat.
break.
Did you skin the cat,
Yeah,
man?
I went out there and skinned me a cat.
There's only one way to skin a cat, I hear tell.
It's funny how the stuff that's like the daily topics that we're exposed to now.
Yeah, right.
You know, I mean, what? You hear stuff, it's almost like some bizarre B movie going on, you know?
Right.
It really is.
Crazy.
Like we're watching Big Chuck and Little John or Superhost or something. And
These people have done lost their minds, and if Jesus
real.
is coming back, bro, you better do it soon, because
And it's
shit
real.
is crazy
You know,
right now.
These guys
if
are
it's
making a
supposed to get
living.
any worse, man, oh my goodness.
Right?
Yeah, I miss when there wasn't so much coverage and there was still lore and mystique, and you know what I mean? It was kind of cool not knowing stuff. Now
Every
everything's
little second of everything.
right. Yeah.
And that's why there's so much BS, because they have to fill up 24 hours.
Right.
You know, I mean, it's just common sense, or they're
Exactly.
feeding the monkey as much as they can, you know.
Absolutely.
And you know, they're always going for the strategy of shock and all the BS, and you know, it's amazing when you watch. I usually watch YouTube because I can see whatever I want, like concerts and whatever, you know.
Right.
Because if you watch just a normal TV and the news, man, it's just like mind-boggling what they're saying.
Yeah.
It's just so
It's unbelievable sometimes. It's like, what's really going on here?
What are you talking about? Because when we were growing up, we were like, Walter Cronkite and these guys. That's the way it is.
Right.
Well, fuck, now they can't say that.
Paul
right?
Harvey.
That ain't the way it is, dude.
I can remember when everybody would stop what they were doing at lunchtime to turn on Paul Harvey on the radio. You know, hear the rest of the story.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
That was good stuff.
That guy had some good stuff going on.
Yeah.
It was stuff you could use.
And it was a different kind of entertainment because it was educational, but you didn't know it was educational until he was done. And you're like, no kidding. Like, he'd tell you a story about.
Damn. Like them old cartoons, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
He used to educate you.
What's that? Wile E. Coyote.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to love those Roadrunner and Coyote.
Roadrunner always got his ass.
Always got him. And I'd be rooting for the Coyote, man. Like, cat's got to eat, man. Come on.
Poor dude is starving to death.
Yeah.
I don't know that there's no cartoons now like there were back then. I mean, it's such a different flow. And I'm not saying there isn't anything funny necessarily, but man, it's really different.
It's not. I'll tell you, the last educational cartoons that I remember was the Tiny Toons. Remember them?
No.
It was like the Looney Tunes, but they was kids.
I've seen them, but I didn't watch them ever. So.
Like the real kids, like real.
No,
kids?
No, like there was
cartoons,
a Kid Bunny, a kid, all Duck and all that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Same characters as the Looney Tunes. They was not them, but they was just younger versions of a rabbit, a duck, whatever, all the rest of them.
Right. I got you.
But they was educational, and then they had the Warner Brothers and their sister Dot that run around the Warner
you know what? Now that you
movie
say that,
studio.
I do remember that. Yeah.
And they had them locked in the water tower, and they escaped and shit, and they wreaking havoc all over the Warner studios.
That was like one of the last after school cartoons.
Yeah, that was a good cartoon, man. It really was.
Yeah. I kind of forgot about that.
Huh.
They had all these little side, Pinky and the Brain. That's a side cartoon from that.
Pink Panther was cool.
Yeah, Pink Panther was awesome.
Yeah.
Unless you were an ant. Because anytime we was around, there was dead ant,
come
dead
out
ant,
before I come in
dead ant, dead ant, dead ant.
The ant and the aardvark.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I remember watching Mickey Mouse, the Mouseketeers. I'd wake up and watch that in the mornings, I think.
Yep, before school.
And that was when Christina Aguilera, they were all kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean,
Britney Spears and all them.
Oh,
man.
Justin Timberlake.
I'm so old, I thought you were talking about a net.
I was just thinking the same thing. And that
Finicello. Yeah.
She was a good looker back then.
Absolutely. Her dark hair.
Yeah.
Beach blanket bingo.
That's right.
Yeah.
With Frankie Avalon or somebody in there. Yeah.
I was always jealous of that dude. Man, I was thinking maybe this dude will drown or some shit. Yeah. and then that'll be just like on the beach. And then I'll be running up with my pineapple.
Hey, you want to exchange a pineapple for 2 melons?
Is that a pineapple in your pants, or are you just happy to slice me?
It takes 2 years to grow a pineapple. Boy, you've been a long wait, son.
So, I don't know if you remember, but there was an old episode of the 3 Little Pigs where they're called the 3 Little Bops. And they play like this jazz tune.
Yeah.
I love that one.
Great.
And the wolf is, he's trying to, and he sucks. He's playing the horn and he's terrible. And then finally he blows up and he's down in hell in a pot, but now he can jam. So they're like jamming. But I found that on, they edited a lot of that out, believe it or not. You can't find the original, at least I couldn't find the original, but it's still a great song. Yeah, I love that song. Yeah.
So what is it? It's three pigs and a wolf in a pie.
Yeah, the 3 pigs, they got a jamming band and they're playing at all these places, and everywhere they go, the big bad wolf, first they let him in the band. They're like, all right, and he gets in, and it's his turn to jam. He's like, and they're just like, oh man, he's square,
square,
yeah. So then he starts trying to break into these places, and he blows the house down, and the last time he gets blown up and ends up down there, as they say.
Down there.
Yeah.
Down south.
But he can blow a horn down there.
Yeah, and then they're like, but if you want to be hot, you got to be cool. And he's down there just jamming away.
Burning up.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't have that. And you had the whole. Oh man, kill the wabbit, kill the wabbit. You know,
Wasky wabbit.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Elmer Fudd.
Yes, the rock opera.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, heck, I think that's where I got my first taste of opera and classical music.
Probably, man.
Yeah.
Gary said Dora wasn't no explorer; she had a map.
Right.
All those cartoons had great music.
They did.
They were like
Absolutely.
scores.
Right.
Big band scores,
Quincy
man.
Jones
And that's
whatever.
speaking of which, when they did them Tiny Toons episodes, that was a Steven Spielberg deal anyway. That they actually went into the studio where they recorded the Looney Tunes and used that piano, the one that was still in there, and recorded with it.
Wow.
Yeah, they tuned it up and used it.
Wow, that's cool.
Right, no doubt.
That's
So
cool.
you were talking
There was a
about some of the
reminder.
musicians that you hung out with, and they were all pretty cool guys. Now, in your travels, was there anybody that you look back and you go, man, that guy was a real dick?
Mojo Mojo had bipolar before anybody knew what bipolar was. We were trying to sell polar, but he was buying it. You know. And so we drove all the way from Charlotte, North Carolina, played a gig, and drove all the way to Monroe, Louisiana, and had a gig that night. So it's just three of us, Mojo and then the bass player and I. And so we set up, we're playing. It's a long drive, man.
Yeah.
You know, and there wasn't hardly anybody in this bar. There was one. That's another story, but there was one in there that worked out real good for me. But
That's all it takes is one.
that's all it takes is one, man.
Right.
And it was kind of funny because that was all it was. You know, one was in, and I took my van.
Speaking of skinning cats.
In that truck, in the trailer with all the stuff in it.
Yeah.
Mojo was freaking out, but I'm thinking anyway. So I digressed. So the guy wouldn't turn off the TV or some shit, and Mojo blew a gasket. So we played like half of one song, and he reached down, unplugged his stuff,
Like,
and
I'm
that was it, man.
Wow.
That was it.
No, we're not talking about Mojo Rising. We're talking about a different Mojo.
No, this is Mojo Collins, but that was before bipolar was really a thing.
Right.
You know,
before they diagnosed it.
we just said he was an a-hole back in the day.
General
That was the medical term back then. Was
That's
just,
pretty much it.
He's a
Yeah.
dick. Yeah, he's an asshole.
But then he got on meds. Like now he's sweet as he can be. So that's an example of what the chemicals can really do. You know,
Right. You got a chemical imbalance, boy. You're messed up.
Yeah.
Now, isn't that a
Really
song? Mean
mess
old
up.
Mo is Sweet Mojo now.
It could be, right?
Right.
It really could be. But that was that. But other than that, I've been pretty fortunate, man. I really haven't had very few weird experiences. I've been very lucky.
I would say the same. Any of the musicians, especially the professionals, have actually been professional. That I've been around, and then generally they're so good at what they do that you find that it's not the only thing they're good at.
Right.
Too, it's just the
Right.
caliber of person that they are.
That's a good point. That's very true. Very true.
Now,
'Cause even Paul Stanley, man, he's like a world-renowned artist, a painter.
I don't even know that.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, big time.
He
Big
was
time.
painting kisses' faces all those years.
Right.
So.
right.
Mellencamp's the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
that's
got
right.
a big old art studio. That's all he does now is paint.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah. So to
I
give
mean,
you
he
an
goes
example-
on tour every now and again, but anytime he's not doing music, he's painting.
He
man.
got bored with changing his name
Yep.
15 times, and
Yep.
so he started painting.
Yeah.
Surprised he don't have a little symbol now.
Right? The artist formerly known as John Cougar, Mellencamp,
Mellencamp.
and John Mellencamp.
Right. That'd be a big symbol, wouldn't it, man? It ain't a big. He'd have to have a huge banner.
Yeah, right.
I have an invention, man, that is coming out. It's all patented.
I was gonna say something about that.
Yes, I'm pretty excited about it. Now I just got to get paid a fiddler, to get them made. But
Right.
it snaps onto the rim of a drum quickly within a couple seconds, and it's locks into the lug, and so that was the patent, that the hooks that, in other words, snare drum, the snare strands at the bottom of a snare drum, and the resonant head's real thin. They're always catching and breaking. You snap that thing on there in 2 seconds and you're covered.
Oh, wow. How'd you come up with that idea? Just
Because I was packing my stuff and
Got tired of breaking shit, huh?
I was thinking I need a Tupperware lid. I was thinking I'm going to get it that way. I wanted to put the snare drum in with the tom toms.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of these gigs, one mounted, one floor is all I'm using. And so that way the snare will fit in that case, right? And but I thought I got to protect that, and so I couldn't find anything. Then I went online. There's nothing. So I started drawing some stuff on the kitchen table, and it ended up getting a patent and all this type of thing. So it's pretty cool. I took it to the drum show in Nashville a couple months ago, and got great response. And all I had was the prototype.
Mm-hmm.
And
I was going to say, you had a video out there for a minute. I was going to ask you what was going on with that.
It's on there. Drummersolutions.com is that where that is. It's a minute and 30 video, but it's a great little product. Yeah.
Now, Drummer Solutions is the website. What's the actual? Is it called a Drummer Solution, or what's the?
It's Strand Guard is the product. Strand Guard by Drummer Solutions, and I'm Drummer Solutions.
Right.
Yeah, and I've got.
It'd be cooler if you were Vanguard. Then it'd be Strand Guard by Vanguard.
We can make that happen.
Right.
It's just changing the banner. Who cares? We can be whatever we want to be.
I tell you what, the name is everything. Because when I did property maintenance for these people way back in the day with the old man, Nebel Realty, they had a landscape guy, and his name was Rick something or Richard something or another. Or no, his name was David with a regular last name, but his landscape business was called Hans Bach Landscaping. And he said he started out with using his name, and he was getting some business and all this shit. He said he changed his name to Hans Bach and instantly had rich people calling him, and he said it just took off just because of the name.
Yeah.
In marketing companies, I worked for a marketing company over here and did well with that. That's when I did all the cars and all like this. It was over in Canton.
Mm-hmm.
And but they would spend X amount of dollars just testing something before it ever went to market. I mean, more money than most people would even think about. Sometimes $250,000 for just to determine, is it going to are we going to take it to market? And if we do, we know exactly how much it's going to cost. We know what it's going to be called and everything else. So it's definitely a science.
Absolutely.
To it.
Yeah.
And when something hits, I mean, you get that back tenfold, So the name is the name, the price, and all this type of thing. And,
right.
And for me, on a low budget, the price point, you're almost kind of using common sense and whatever. You just, kind of pulling it out of your ass is what you're doing within reason,
Right.
Because you haven't tested it.
Right. You don't know.
So it's kind of, but I was selling them at the booth, and I didn't even have a booth. A guy just let me use his space there, which was very cool of him.
Are they $19.95? And if you act now, you get the Pocket Fisherman.
But wait, there's more. There's more, dude. There's more. I got a whole truckload of these things.
We'll throw in the illuminated drumstick.
Yeah.
You get a heavy duty drum key.
Yep.
Now look, I was naming you guys. Speaking of names, like if you toured together, you could be Tom Tom and the snare.
Yeah, we could be that. It'd be a 2-man group.
That's right.
That's better than calling it the Blue Ball group.
Yeah, the Blue Balls. Blue Balls.
Man, that sounds painful.
Them Blue Ball boys from that MediaFarm, I tell you what, they got something going on right there.
I'll tell you what.
They can kiss some kitty on that farm.
My God.
I love the H on there on the whats.
The what?
Yeah.
I'll tell
The
you
invisible
what.
H.
If I don't tell you anything, I'll tell you what.
Yeah. That's how you know to take a man serious. You got the invisible H in there.
Yeah, got some serious H going on.
Some hoop ass.
Yeah.
Put a can of hoop ass on you.
Yeah. But speaking of, things that people do away from music, because it's the I don't know if it's intellect, but it's what drives people, whatever you want to call it, DNA, whatever. It's because there's a lot of people that have talent, but they don't have the discipline. They don't have a lot of things that go with it.
For sure.
In order to be these guys that are touring, people underestimate what that takes.
Oh, that's brutal, man. You got to be brutal. A monster.
Yeah.
You have to be.
Yeah.
You get no sleep. You eat. You don't eat well in most cases.
Yeah. There's nothing that's why the top acts, everything's consistent.
For sure.
Right.
You know, that way it's a routine. Because if you're kind of struggling and you're just touring with this and that, it's hard to have a routine.
Right.
Because you're kind of hanging on by, you know.
Just getting to the next show and then just getting to the next show, and you barely got gas money and food money and hotel room and all that. And halftime you're sleeping in the van or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. I tell you what, there were
That's a
some
rough
fun
ride.
times though. There were some fun times. This band here, Queensryche.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
When we were on the road in the '80s, back when everything
was getting it,
when
yeah.
it was cool. That's all we had in like it was probably a CD player at the time, CDs, and that's Operation Mindcrime. That's all we
It's a
had.
great CD.
That's all we ever needed, you know.
Right.
We couldn't wait to get in that funky ass van and listen to Mindcrime on the way to the next city, because that was you played like 5 or 6 nights at a time.
Right.
And the band got real tight, because I mean, how can you not?
Right. You're playing out almost every night. I mean,
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, and that was good times, man. Good times.
When
Real good times.
when there's bands that ask me to come and watch them, or I check them out or whatever, one of the first things I notice is the pros versus the guys that aren't there yet is, and me and Tom have talked about it too, is when they're practicing. I've been around bands that are really good, and they get into a song and one person is a little off or whatever, they'll stop that right now and back up and they redo it. Whether they started from the beginning or start, a few bars back or whatever, it's just unacceptable. They're not going to practice it. Practice makes permanent, not necessarily, people say practice makes perfect, but you got to practice perfectly to get there. And I see these other guys, they just play through. And it's like, yeah, that sounded not bad, and then they just move on to the next song. Like, yeah, it's a big difference. Big difference.
It's muscle memory. And if you learn it the wrong way, you're
Right.
it's not very smart.
Right.
It's funny because he was like kind of like that with us. He was like telling us that, and I was like, yeah, well, we do normally do that stop and go or whatever, but like he came, we just got this bass player, and we had played like 2 songs for like 4 rehearsals in a row, and then the next one it was like we added a song and then played those 3 for a couple rehearsals, and then added a song, and it was like, oh my god, I'm dying over here, because we had to keep going over until the bass player got locked in, you know what I mean? And then Otto shows up, he's like, why you guys just kind of play through? I was like, well, dude, we've been only playing a couple songs for like months, dude. We're dying to play the rest of this shit.
But you guys
And
are
now
good,
we're
man,
recording, so
yeah, I can't wait to hear the finished product. on
Going
that.
down there to Gas Band 330 on that Facebook and get to my guitar player. So, we had about 200 and some odd followers, and he puts this 9-second clip of a Camaro, like a 68 or 9 or whatever, with a blower. It comes by and they're playing Ozzy song. We're almost at 4,000 followers because of that one and this
cool
other
video.
Every time I get on my phone, there's notifications. This person followed you from the reel. There's 31 people followed you from the reel. There's 50 people followed you from the reel. I'm like, damn.
Thanks,
I was
Pat.
like, yeah, man. It's like I would have never thought to put a car on my band page to make it grow.
I'll tell you what,
It's crazy.
It's all entertainment, man.
Yeah, man.
Right.
They love that shit for whatever reason.
And that 9-second mark, believe it or not, is one of the hottest
Times, signature
for
deals.
those reels. Yeah, 9 seconds, and people will let it play over 3 or 4 times too, watching it. So it takes your mind a second. You knew you liked it, so then you want to watch it again.
Right.
And so a lot of those they'll play 3, 4, 5, 6 times,
And then
before they move on.
Pat put that one where that Mustang was doing all that drifting. Apparently, that's a video game.
Oh, it is.
Yeah. Some guy was like chimed in, dude, that's a video game.
You were talking about.
But that one's got a shit ton of views on it already.
Apparently, car videos are hot. So.
I guess.
We were talking about hitting the drums hard earlier, and that was one of the things I noticed with your practice was, everybody was sharp, and then Alan was banging on the drums like he was going to punch holes in them, which was just great. I love to see that. I'd never tell somebody you hit the drums too hard. I don't. No. Yeah, it was so. It was for me, I had been doing. I was with a lot of Southern rock guys. You know what I mean? So I love Southern rock, but coming up here and they have their own flavor. It's. I hate to compare it to other bands because that's their band and whatever. But there are some changes and some fatness of the chords and stuff that I came out of here thinking a little bit of like Alice in Chains kind of sound, but their own spin on it. You know what I mean? It was great for me coming in here. I was like, oh yeah, I'm into this. These guys kill it. And then you have technicians at each spot in the band or whatever. And I love when you get that mesh when you got the chemistry.
Right.
Because you can have great musicians and they just don't jive. You know what I mean? Sometimes you put them together and it's just the styles don't flow or aren't. Yeah. But you guys got it. So
we're
be ready out there, people. We just got to get this.
What's
this
up,
thing
Tom
recorded.
Fox? Where you been, boy?
Got the gas band.
Gas band
Gas band.
with SMP.
Tom Fox is a drummer.
Yeah.
He also cuts my hair. I'm about due, Tom. I gotta scrape up some money though.
What is the next SMP stuff?
We're playing this weekend at Ravenna at the Big Dog Saloon.
That's right, the big
Friday
dog.
night, and then Saturday we're playing in Cuyahoga Falls at the Hall of Fame Harley. And I did something fun a couple months ago now, maybe 3. That they did a KISS show, the Cleveland Music Society, Cleveland Musician Society. I hope I'm getting that right. But out in Geneva on the Lake, every year they have this event, and they donate. This year they donated like 50 grand to the Autistic Society.
Oh,
so for something
up.
autism, and so it was very.
We was gonna after this one's probably we're gonna do something for that because the owl. We was talking about that.
That's cool.
The
Yeah.
donation once we donate what's in here to the humble creatures. Our next one's gonna be probably to some autism something.
It's a good thing. So 50 grand is a lot of money.
Yeah.
a lot of money.
So what they do is, I think it's 50. They had 60 musicians from the area. I signed up for it. I just got lucky that I was one of them, and but I met a lot of cool people. But you go out there and they give you 3 KISS songs, and everybody plays whatever songs you're given, and hardly nobody rehearses them.
Right.
So you show up and just play.
That's pretty cool.
Was anybody complaining like, why'd we get the disco KISS song? Like, the heck, man, it's a ripoff.
I didn't want to play Beth, damn it.
right. Well, what's oddly enough, it was a great time, and nobody was complaining about anything.
They just got up and jammed, huh?
Yeah,
That's what's
and it was
great.
a good camaraderie. It was no weird shit going on. It was one of the most well-run events.
That's my very first show here. I called it the Ohio All-Stars, and I just had a bunch of people come in, and my drummer that's in the gas band was supposed to be like the main drummer for the night, and he fell down and dislocated his shoulder the night before the gig. So then we had like all these songs we couldn't play. My band couldn't play at all because we're all originals and nobody knows our shit, so we was shut down. And then we had a couple other drummers come in, and so the program that we had in the schedule got totally thrown out the door. And we had 4 hours of music, man, and it was awesome. And it was kind of the same deal.
Nice.
Everybody just kept rotating in and out and playing.
Yeah.
It was a blast. I'm getting ready to do another one of them here now that we got the equipment resituated and seemingly everything's going to be working good.
We have Myko Man back in here banging on the drums.
Yeah,
I'd love
we'll
it.
get SMP in here.
Yeah. For sure.
And yeah, Tom, you can bring the bongos in. I'm ready. We got full recording studio up. Anybody needs video, audio, any kind of recording?
We got you.
All right, cheer.
I'll be the chimpanzee. I used to, that song, banging on the bongo, MTV or whatever.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
MTV, man, that was something back in the day.
Wasn't it, though?
Yeah.
It was cool for a minute.
For a minute.
Damn, talk about going south. That's a discredit to the South, though, isn't it?
Man.
I mean, because I don't know what why would you give that away? I guess the audience maybe changed or something.
Well, I think, when that came out, we weren't going to Google or YouTube our
Right,
favorite
true.
video.
That's
right,
true.
that was the only gig in town.
Right.
And then as the market kind of changed, they went into a bunch of weird shows, just trying
They
to
went to TV,
Yeah.
all that.
Yeah.
drama,
Yeah.
reality TV, and
Yeah.
whatever. Does it even
yes.
exist? Does it exist
Dire
anymore?
Straits. There's John May Hyden.
Well, a lot of that too
There's
is
a
when
lot of folks in the chat.
these
Thanks,
guys
guys,
went,
for hanging out.
went on strike in Hollywood years ago. Because nobody was writing anything. That's when all these reality
Right.
shows started creeping up. Like Bachelorette, Bachelor. Hang your
Survivor,
panties
whatever
on
that was.
the whatever.
Yeah.
It's like crazy shows. It's like, I couldn't imagine
Jersey Shore.
50 chicks all. That's kind of crazy, man.
Yeah. Those island ones where people go out there, they got naked and afraid. You're out
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Man, I would never do no
I'd
shit
never
like
do
that.
that.
Hell
No.
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 You got me twisted, bro.
I looked it up. They get
My
like 25
balls hanging
grand.
out.
If you do that, if you stayed out there for the rest of your life or whatever, you get like 25 grand. I'm thinking, man, I'd pay you 25 grand to get the hell out of there.
Yeah,
Right,
right, to
dude.
not do that. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
That's what I told a guy.
Oh,
that
look,
was-
I ain't Gilligan.
I had a buddy that Gilligan. Yeah, that was a way better gig. I think I'd have rather been Gilligan.
Yeah, Mary Ann and Ginger out there.
Right.
I could have hung out in the house.
Hey, I
for a
bet you
while.
Mrs. Howe was fun too. So
She was hiding behind the outhouse doing
Right.
things.
I always wanted to wonder what she looked like in a bikini. They never showed, so you don't know.
Bless her heart.
Old Mrs. Howe.
Yeah, everybody forgets about her.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah.
Dirty old man, you.
That's some
Come
funny
here,
shit
girl.
right there.
Gilligan. Even that name,
Skipper was probably
Gilligan,
skipping away once in a while with old Mrs. Howe.
probably. Right? You never know.
Isn't that funny that most of those people, they're probably all dead.
Yeah. Little buddy.
Is Bob Denver still
Bob
alive? I
Denver.
don't know.
No, he got killed in a plane crash, didn't he, or something?
I don't
weird?
know.
He's not alive. Bob Denver.
I think he was in one of those homemade airplanes or something and crashed.
That's John Denver.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's John
Yeah.
Denver.
All right, I knew it was
That was his cousin.
John and Bob.
wrong Denver.
Yeah, wrong Denver.
But yeah, he was like a pilot and testing this thing.
Uh-huh.
Ran out of gas or some shit.
Oh.
How you going?
Wow.
I could never understand that. That'd be the first thing I check before I leave. Do I got enough gas to want to go up in
You
the
would
air
think,
here?
yeah.
Well, especially when you're the
crazy,
gas
Joe.
band, you got to have the
Right.
gas
Right.
band.
Ask Leonard Skinner about that. They know a little bit about that,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
so-
here, let me stick a stick down in there and see if it.
I'd want to know, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not sure. I've never, I've flown commercial and whatever, like been a passenger, but
Right.
and I can drive anything. There's drivers and non-drivers in this
Right.
world.
I'm the same way. I
But-
could fly a plane.
Yeah,
I know I could.
I think I could too, and but man, that would be I would think the scariest thing that I've ever driven because
Probably. Yeah, 'cause
anything
you can't
else,
make no mistakes.
if it stalls, I just pull over. you know?
Right. That's all. You ain't making no mistakes, bro. Not
Yeah.
no air flight.
No.
Yeah, no pulling over.
Craig
No.
had that flight simulator. I wanted to go up
Yeah.
there and check that out one time and never did get to mess
Yeah,
with
I've
it. Then
flown
he
on
switched
that.
over to the damn things. But I know I can fly. I guarantee you, I promise you, I can take off and land. I know enough about airspeed and what it, I can do
Craig's
it.
killer. Now he's on to. We're talking about Craig Reed. I don't know if you knew who Craig Reed is.
I did meet Craig
Yeah.
years ago.
Yeah.
When I had a Journey tribute band.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, sure did.
Yeah. So now he's in the drones. He's up there.
Oh, is he now?
Yeah. Yeah. That's his new thing.
Okay.
And when Craig goes in, he goes all in.
Oh,
so,
she sure does.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
That's his new thing. So.
Speaking of driving, man, I did the Mid Ohio track,
Oh wow.
and yeah, well, you took your own car out there first, and I was kind of timid about that.
What'd you
'cause
take? What'd you take out there?
I had a Bentley SS at the time, which is a heavier car,
Right. That is a heavy car. Yeah.
and I wasn't really.
And there's a lot of sharp hairpin turns
Yeah,
on that
I mean,
course too.
it was fun, but I wasn't going to. But the next round, I had a driver, and it was a Ferrari. And first thing he told me, he says, "You're not going to impress me. You're not going to scare me."
Oh, yeah?
And I thought, this guy's got balls. I mean,
Yeah.
the car's pretty heavy. And I tell you what, that guy, when you drive with those guys and they tell you what to do, he said, you just listen to me and we'll go from there. So I did. And I tell you what, man, in other words, you're going down the straightaway, and he's not saying let up. And I'm thinking, whoa, this guy's crazy, man. Right? But I held in there, but I cut my time short. I said, dude, I've done everything I'm going to do with this car. Because I know, so it gave me a totally different awareness of a race car driver.
Yeah.
I mean, to have that kind of intensity for as long as they do, because one little slip up.
Oh yeah, man. And you might hurt yourself, but everybody else around you, you know what I mean? You got it.
The margin of error is
precision
zero.
driving right there,
Absolutely.
man. I mean, precision driving.
Yeah.
And anybody that's never raced
Later, Gary.
has no idea how taxing that is on your body. You know what I mean? What it takes out of you to keep
it'll
hyper
beat the
focused
shit out of you.
Yeah.
And mentally.
Yeah.
I mean, I was wiped out, man. I mean,
Right.
it truly, because it's intense.
I mean, it's like you're using all your muscles and everything when you're doing that.
Yeah.
You know, circle track is one thing that'll beat you up, but them Indy cars where they're fucking man, them dudes, they're racing.
Yeah.
Constantly shifting up and down, left corners, sharp corners, long corners, fast straightaways. That'd be the shit right there. I'd love to do that.
We need to do a gas band enduro race somewhere.
Right.
That'd be badass. So I know you're a driver now, so you can jump on the team. And
Well, I was much better with that dude sitting beside me.
Yeah.
Because they know it. I
Right.
mean, that was
what the speeds are supposed to be.
I would have slowed down long before he was, in other words, because I was more cautious.
Right.
But when you're racing, I used to race bikes too, and it was the same thing. When I first started, it was different.
Sure.
It was different.
Yeah, you got to build up to being a beast.
Once you get going, then you realize it's all it's full throttle.
Right.
Man. It's
Right.
full throttle.
It's how you dive into them corners and
That's
shit.
right.
You know what I mean? You just,
Yeah.
and it looks so easy on TV.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Because they're so fluid.
Right.
Just like watching a great musician. But it's hours and hours and hours of whatever you do.
And there's still
See ya, Fox.
To
Tom
be
Fox. Everybody's
Tom.
leaving, man. It's getting late. They're on bedtime. John May said, I flew in an airplane once and I seen the flat earth.
Good night, y'all.
seen the flat Earth.
Yeah, and he didn't take no pictures. That's what kills me. Nobody's got a picture for me of the flat earth.
Yeah. Well, the next time I'm in outer space, I'll turn around and snap a pic and see what it looks like.
I've got a few I'll share with you, man.
Cool. I've been winning. I mean, there ain't even no fake pictures. I'm like, damn, man. At least NASA's got fake pictures of the Earth.
Right?
They're not all flat, but I'll share them with you.
Where do you stand on that? You got an opinion one way or another on the flat Earth or round Earth?
I'm pretty sure it's round.
Yeah.
Although I've never flown around it myself, but I'm pretty sure by now they would know if it's not round.
I would think so.
My
opinion is I don't care because what's it change for me? I'm not doing anything different tomorrow, whether it's round or flat. But
me neither. But you see the pictures from space, and you don't see a pancake. It's a round Earth.
Well, them are supposedly all fake pictures produced by NASA.
Oh, the moon thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of it.
I'm not surprised about that.
Well,
now that one, I'm up on that one for sure because really, I've seen several things, and they're talking about. One of the biggest things is you would have had, they didn't know how much fuel it was going to take. And for that, they'd had to fly out, come back, fly out, come back, and figure out. And there's all kinds of math involved that I don't know, man. I'm up on that, but the more I dig on that, the more I'm like, I
would say I've heard
man.
some compelling arguments.
Me too.
But we've seen recently though the SpaceX things. Those guys were up there.
Mm-hmm.
That's like now.
Well,
that was
we
just last
think.
week.
I mean,
well, yeah. I mean,
it's like the moon landing. It's pretty well universally known now that was fake.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's no stars in the background. The guy's got a scuba tank on that would last a half hour, and he's up there hours. That's impossible,
right?
Mm-hmm. So back then, nobody was looking for those things.
Can you imagine how much BS? Since we were, and then not to mention now with all the technology that's available now,
right?
I mean, this whole AI thing, what they can do with it. I mean,
pretty scary.
There's
stuff.
no telling, man. What's
they got fake pictures
bullshit,
of the ball
right.
Earth, though, John. So where's your fake pictures of the flat Earth, brah?
Hey, man, I can settle this. You know what? I had a globe in my classroom, and it was round. So
yeah, that's good enough for me too.
Yeah.
It's I've traveled so much that I don't like to do it anymore. I'll put it that way. And So you've seen a lot of stuff, and I've been to London, and it was different over there because it was so small. Everything was so small. The hotel rooms were small, and we had the big luggage. You know, typical Americans go there.
Yeah.
You got the big suitcase. This is.
Imagine leaving Texas to go to London.
Yeah. It's like yeah. And so the rooms real small.
Culture shock.
Yeah. Everything was just different. But once you kind of got used to it, I was only there for a few days, so I didn't really get used to it, you know. And we were there for a wedding.
That's what I was going to ask you. What
It
took
was
you over
for a
there?
wedding, and these people had a lot of money, and they had rented a hotel called the Blakes, and that's where all the stars or whoever goes to get away from people, because you couldn't tell it was a hotel, because it was like a row. Everything's rows over there, rows of condos or whatever they are.
Right.
And this hotel was that. But when you go in there, you know, there's a lobby and all this stuff. And it's real. You can start seeing something's going on. A big, nice courtyard. So we end up. The first room was, you walk over here and there's like twin bed here and a twin bed there, you know. And I said, you know, we're not going to stay in here, man. And he looked at me like, you fucking, you know. I knew what he was thinking, but I'm not going to stay in there. Because I'm not going to sleep by myself, and you know, it ain't going to happen. And I'm not sleeping on that little thing. And I said, so they gave us a real room, and that room was pretty cool. Big blackout drapes, so you couldn't see any light. I mean, in other words, if you wanted to get away, you could see how that's what they would do. Because it was just dark, like noon. It was just pitch black in that room, man. You could open up the curtains, of course, but you know, if you didn't want to.
Did you drive over there at all?
No, hell no.
That'd be so weird.
Because everybody was zipping around, man.
On the wrong side of the road.
Yeah,
but they're used to it.
With the steering wheel on the wrong side. It'd be like Chevy Chase in that circle. Look, kids, big man Parliament like 19 times.
Yeah.
What about Bigfoot?
Bigfoot? I've never seen Bigfoot. I saw his
they're
sister
real?
once. I saw his sister a few times.
Yeah, on a Patterson Gimli footage.
It was about 3 a.m.
It's funny.
Bar closed.
She didn't look like Bigfoot, but she turned into Bigfoot by morning.
Yeah. That's a country song right there. Bigfoot by morning.
Bigfoot by morning.
Yeah, but my neighbor was a Bigfoot guy. You know, and they went out there on a vacation. You know, so he could get the vibe of the
out
Bigfoot
there in Cali,
out in Washington and Oregon. They where the waterfall is and all like that. I forgot the name of it. It was a beautiful waterfall.
Right.
But they were there because he's really into it, you know. And he said, I swear there's a Bigfoot, man. I said, probably.
Funny
is,
thing
man.
of it is Ohio's got just as many sightings as them guys.
Really?
Yeah, Ohio's big for that shit.
Salt Fork.
I don't want to tell him that, man. It blow his
concept. Washington and what was the other one we just said?
Oregon,
and Ohio's the top 3 in California.
Even where I live down in Minerva, they call it the Minerva Monster. And people were coming from all over the country because there were so many sightings, and there was a guy that got bitten over by
the Minerva Monster.
By the Minerva Monster.
Wow.
Yeah, and they used to have a hair sample that mysteriously got lost. They sent it to a college to get analyzed, and the college couldn't figure out what the hair sample was. And then,
because they don't have nothing in the data banks.
Right. And also in Ohio is the only howl that cannot be discredited. There's a Bigfoot howl. You can YouTube it. It's Columbiana, where I actually live in Columbia.
If you just search Ohio howl, it'll come up.
Right, and so they basically have every creature on Earth cataloged in computer systems, and they can match, you know, the vocal ranges and whatever.
You can do the
right.
the analysis. What the hell is that?
Spectrum.
The spectrum analysis. There we go.
And it is not. It's completely unknown.
It's got its own voice pattern.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
where is it? Minerva?
Yeah, Columbiana County.
Well, no, not Minerva. This was down Columbiana County.
Well,
there's
Minerva is Columbiana County.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I thought the Ohio howl ain't from there though. I think it's from somewhere else.
It's Columbiana.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so Columbiana County is a pretty big county, but Minerva is Carroll, Stark, and Columbiana.
Right.
So yeah,
So
it wasn't in Minerva.
The dude that got bit. Did it have a lot of bacteria? I mean, what happened with the guy that got bit?
I never heard that story.
So the house that they lived in, if you head into Minerva on Route 30, just before you get into town, they've got a Bigfoot out in front of their house.
Yeah, but that's the what you call it. He never said, because Larry's son did a documentary when he scores films. Small Town Monsters does a documentary on that, and that dude's in there, and he never said nothing about getting bit.
He talks about jumping on his back in that thing too. Like one of the brothers jumps on this Bigfoot's back and gets bitten and lets go. So
I don't remember the biting part. I think I remember jumping. They like,
And when you're around a lot of people, when somebody's telling the truth, or they believe that they're telling the truth. They saw something, and I can tell you for sure, those people saw something.
Yeah,
now I can't say it's a Bigfoot. I personally think it's kind of hard to believe, but there are some compelling things with the Bigfoots too. But I've heard a theory that they are aliens, and that's why there's no skeletal remains.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at all the Bigfoot sightings and you look at all the UFO sightings, they're almost exactly
they do
like when you
overlap.
lay them over top of each other. They're all in the same places. So
That is weird.
it doesn't make me believe that they're Bigfoot. But
Here's the crazy thing about the spectral analysis on the voice. This dude, I always bring him up. He's called Thinker Thunker, and he's a video guy that used to do AI and all this video editing and CGI and all this shit. So he started analyzing all these Bigfoot videos, and he come up with this measurement, proportional DNA, he calls it, because from here to here and from here to here, it don't matter if the dude's 6 foot or 3 foot, we're proportioned all the same. So he'll take the video of a Bigfoot and take the proportions and match them up to a human and show you, look, these legs are longer, the arms are longer, the torso, because on a Bigfoot, the legs, the arms, and the torso are almost all the same exact size, where ours is all different, and they got a different gait. But back to the spectrum analysis, that how he's talking about, and then they got these ones called the
I got the howl right here. When you're done talking, I'll play it on the.
All right. So oh damn, what are they called? The chatter. I can't think. But anyway, this other guy picked up this stuff, and this Thinker Thunker takes this and shows you all these different animals, and does a human and it shows how different it is, and then he did an episode of that. Then he took a while later and figured out he slowed it down. And when he slowed this, because when we're hearing it, it sounds just like a normal scream. And when he slowed it down, real slow, there's punctuation in it, as in speech.
Wow.
And these other ones,
Wow.
he slowed down, and there's actual speech in what they're doing. There's punctuation and this whole.
So there's more than one
situation.
of them because they're communicating.
Yeah, because the ones, not this, the Ohio howl, but the other ones, and I cannot think of what they're called.
Are they from an area? Or are they?
Yeah, it's out there in California. This dude, he has this recording. You hear him doing this shit, and they're doing them howls and all kinds of. And he thinks it's an adult, a female, a male, a female, and a juvenile. And the way it sounds, it almost sounds like that the male and the female is going back and forth, bitching at each other, and then like the male laughs, and it's weird as shit when you slow it down, man. It's crazy. But he shows that the spectrum analysis, man, there's nothing. It's like a fingerprint. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking of prints, that's the only other thing that was compelling to me was the Dr. Meldrum has footprints from out west.
The Sierra sounds. That's what it's called. The Sierra sounds.
Well, I'll play this
Sierra
one here
Mountains,
real quick. So. You hear that howling sound in the background?
Wow, that's pretty ominous.
Right.
Wow.
Now, if you take that and slow it down, apparently it's.
Yeah.
If you go check out that Thinker Thunker, he's got them videos, man.
Yeah, so this guy's
like a
got
train
footprints.
whistle, man.
It
Share
does
and
kind of,
subscribe.
yeah. That's what I thought. Maybe it was machinery or something, in the background. But they've tested against all
But the lung
spectrums.
capacity to do that.
Right,
is
exactly. That's the other thing.
That's intense.
Did you ever see that one where the truck driver's sitting at that truck stop or whatever, and there's one like it sounds like it's only about 100 yards from him screaming like that, and he's shitting his pants, dude. He's like, dude, what is that? And this thing's doing that, man.
No.
And it's close, and like you said, you could, in his video, you could feel the lung capacity and how much power this thing's got, man. And it's like, dude, come on, man. I think they're real. I mean, I've never seen one, but the video evidence and the way this Thinker Thunker does the DNA proportion and that other shit,
Oh yeah,
there's something to it. There's something running around in the whether or not they're aliens or whatever, because they also say that they are interdimensional, because you'll see footprints start here and stop there, and they just stop. You know what I mean? And people said they've watched them appear and disappear right before their eyes.
The other thing was in Indian, like American Native Indian drawings. There's eagle, buffalo, all real creatures, and a hairy creature man.
Hairy man, yep.
Right. They don't have dragons. They don't have griffins. They don't. You know what I'm saying? But that's in there. So that's kind of makes you think. Why? And then I started talking about the footprints. So footprints are like fingerprints. You know what I mean? And primates, I think, are horizontal, and humans are vertical, or whatever it is. And so they have these ones that have a diagonal pattern like nothing else in the world. So this guy's got a catalog of a couple of those from the West Coast, and then all of a sudden something pops up in like nowhere, like the Himalayas or something, with people that have no technology. I mean, they're hill people, and it's the same print. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Those are species.
there's a species.
Right.
Now what it is, I don't know.
They can jump with the strength of that. Anybody that can sound like that can also jump. So they may have a footprint here and way over there.
Right.
They would have the strength.
Or even jumped up in a tree.
Oh, I was getting ready to say, I seen this clip where this one did jump. I don't know. It don't look like CGI, and this thing's a monster, and it jumps way up in this tree, dude, and then disappears.
I seen him on Bionic Man jumping like that back in the 70s. So
Yeah.
he was Bigfoot was an alien then.
Yeah.
So
How about, speaking of
Very
aliens,
fair faucet.
yeah,
how about those? You ever see any flying saucers or anything?
UFO.
I have not. No.
Yeah.
Well, you should hang out with us more.
I was
You'll
gonna
see
say,
it.
man,
You guys have better shit.
I've seen so much shit in this yard since I moved in here up in the sky. It's unbelievable. And I've had a lot of people witness it too, not just me by myself.
Right.
Crazy shit, boy. And people always like, man, how do you see that stuff, man? I can't believe you see all that stuff. Well, wow. Go outside at nighttime and get off your effing phone and look up in the sky for a while, an hour. You'll see some shit, I promise you.
Yeah, I've seen stuff, but I didn't attribute it to a UFO. I mean, because there's so many.
Oh, I've seen so much shit that I don't even know. I was like, what was that? But I've seen actual, like witnessed and not far away, and like, what am I looking at?
I mean, most people don't know if you lay out on a clear, starry night, you can see satellites.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Just plain as day up there going around. So, yeah.
Absolutely. It makes sense to me that there's other sources of life. I mean, because we're compacted in compared to the universe. So it's very feasible to me that there's other life.
You come on here on this show, I had no idea you talk about Bigfoot and UFOs, did you?
No, I thought I'd be talking about,
Yeah.
I had no idea, actually.
John said, even if Bigfoot was real, it wouldn't change what I have to do tomorrow. Just saying. That's what we're talking about, that flat earth. Same difference, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
It could be a triangle. It ain't going to change nothing. It's
Right.
just nothing going to change.
No.
But, what's cool kind of about life in general is the anticipation of what's to come.
Right.
Because without that, I mean, it's really, you might as well just stay in bed.
Yeah.
So it's every day brings something. It's kind of cool that we're exposed to different things.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's what I was talking about before, like when there were shows like In Search Of with Leonard Nimoy back in the day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that stuff back then was like Loch Ness Monster and Bigfoot and
Right.
and whatever. But it wasn't just that. There was other things
Right.
like I used to watch football, and there was the lore of the Catawba Claw. He was a guy from Catawba Island that had a real short football career, but he was really good. But you know, you couldn't just get on the internet and see videos of him. So you'd like, man, I heard this, you know, guy might be
Right.
coming into town or whatever, you know, and just
Right.
the anticipation of that. So some of the anticipation of life's been taken away because everything's at your fingertips. So it's a little harder to find
Absolutely.
that stuff than it used
Very
to be.
true.
But yeah,
Very true. We're bombarded now.
absolutely.
With so many, so your sensory perception just going crazy.
You go to the gas station, they got video things at the pump. Everywhere you go. Like, I like restaurants that don't have a TV.
Me
know?
too, man. And those gas stations annoy me because, you know, it's
Same.
like I avoid them when I can.
Me too.
But you know, when I'm writing music, I don't listen to the radio much anyway. But I because
Yeah.
I don't want anything.
Influencing.
I just don't. You know, I want it to, whatever it is,
Absolutely.
good, bad, or indifferent. I want it to come from me.
Right.
Right.
I do that myself. If I listen to something and listen to it, I'll find myself in that style.
Absolutely.
Uh-huh.
Now, if I get to where I'm stale, which I don't because I don't write enough.
Right.
You know, but if you're writing all the time, then I would intentionally throw myself into some styles because if I'm in a frame of mind,
Right.
then I would wrap it around that.
Right. Bring something out.
Sure, sure.
I'm actually excited to hear your stuff now. I didn't know where to find you before. I went to your Facebook page. I didn't see much, or at least I didn't see any actual performances on there. I seen, you know, where you had put where you're going to be or where you'd been or whatever. And so now I know where to find you. And
Which was where?
MykoMan.com, MyKoman.
Myko Man. Yeah.
Man.com.
Oh,
Now, one of those Facebook pages, when I first started all this stuff, I hired a grandmother and paid her to do all the media stuff. Now what they call them, there's people that do that
Right.
big time. But I didn't know because I didn't have time to do it, you know. And so for I think it was like $250 a month, she was doing all this. So I had this stuff going on and all this. That was back when they had MySpace.
yeah, MySpace.
And all that. So that's
Yeah.
how old that was, you know. But
From MySpace
Well,
to yours.
we're old enough to remember the original social media, which would be my face. We just talk to my face, and
that's a good one. How true is that, right?
right? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And we didn't miss a lick.
no, no.
It's funny. We all had healthy, growing up with childhood. You know, we're always outside, and now, this fellow was power washing the other day, and he had two twin sons in his car, 8 years old. He said, "Oh, they'd be excited to meet you. You know, your music, blah blah blah." So they opened the door, and he said, "Hey guys, this is a musician here, you know." And I said, "Dude, don't hold that against me, man." But I didn't say that. I didn't say that to the kids.
Yeah.
But I said, "So what are you guys doing?" "Oh, we're playing the keyboard." And he said they don't know what a guitar stuff is, you know, because they're exposed to a totally different world, you know, than their young kids. And I said, man, if I had children, I'd put them on a keyboard. But I was thinking of like a piano or
Right.
whatever.
Yeah.
But they're growing up now because these computers can do so
Right.
much, and their creativity is skyrocketing in a way because they're not limited.
Right.
You know,
Right.
That's, you know, it kills me because there's a drummer that's he gives lessons, and he's a great drummer, and he's a good dude, and you probably know him, Bobby Stocker.
yeah.
You know Bobby?
Yeah.
He bitches all the time about people, oh, that you guys sample them beats and you're not a real musician, and he bitches and talks about how bad that is. And I'm like, dude, for being a instrument teacher, why would you? He has no idea what it's like to make a beat. You know what I mean? He thinks they're just grabbing these things and just slapping shit together, and it's nothing like that. And he's like, oh, they don't know shit. You know what I mean? But my son back there can play almost every instrument known to man and play it real well. I mean, that kid can jam anything he puts in his hands.
I walked in there the other day, and he was playing the hanging organ.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like he makes beats. That beginning one.
I don't know what to say to that. I may be kicked off the farm.
So anyway, he you know, he makes beats. That beginning, our intro is his. What we're listening to in the background is his right now. He must have put his phone on.
Yeah.
But he'll go and he'll sample the kick drum from some song, a snare from another song, and then put it all together and make this beat. And that is an art. There is a freaking art in that. And what trips me out is why he bitches about these kids that he thinks don't know how to play instruments, and maybe some of them don't. But wouldn't you rather have these kids in their studio making music instead of out breaking into your cars or trying to sell you drugs or rob you? It makes no sense to me why you would put anybody's music down, however they're making it. That blows me away that you are a teacher of music, and you're bitching about somebody making music their way because they ain't making it the way you think it should be made. Who cares how it's made?
And
as long as it sends the message and it fulfills somebody's time and they enjoy doing it.
Well, you know, these young bloods, like these 8-year-old kids, they're receiving information that we didn't receive at that age. And so they're going to respond to that information.
Absolutely.
And so that's their creative outlet. You know, instead of
and some of them don't have access to instruments.
Well, actually, some of them now, the thing is they design the music on the computer first and then try to learn how to play it.
And that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a whole genre out there called gent music. I don't know if you're familiar with that. It's like DJ, ENT. And
that real heavy, boppy, jumpy shit.
So that what it does is it's anti-music theory, like how normal progressions would be. So they have very ironic changes, and that's kind of the whole thing with that. But most of that music is designed on a computer first, and then the kids they spend hours and weeks and whatever trying to actually play it. And at first it was not really off-putting, but it was weird when I was introduced to it. And then actually I thought it was pretty cool. Like, that's a great idea. If we had that when we were younger, we'd be doing it too.
Right.
But back then we were doing the try to find your song on the radio.
Rewind, tape play, rewind, play, rewind, play, rewind, play.
Yeah.
So it's opening up a whole new, spectrum of
we
music.
couldn't just pop it up on YouTube and have somebody show us how to do it.
Yeah.
And it's coming at them so fast.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's almost like they have to respond with something real quick. Like, in other words, their information is coming at them real quick. So the computer is enabling them to go back with feedback quickly.
Yeah.
And it's different than everything's different than when we grew up. That's how it's supposed to be. I mean, that's just the natural process of life itself. Now, I don't necessarily like when they send me tracks, when I record I have a home studio, I just record, I play the drum tracks. I can do that. I'm not an engineer, but I just watch my levels.
Right.
Once they're set, I don't have to screw with it. Then, so I get the tracks, I get a click, and then usually eight counts, then I play the song.
Right.
But sometimes there's drum machines going on, and it doesn't bother me a bit because it's kind of cool. I'm doing something different than that. That's my ambition. I want to try to pull something out that's not already there.
Right.
Yeah, so that's cool. Like if it's just a boom cha, then it allows me to dance around the beat more.
You can do some whatever or whatever for that matter. You're right.
Right.
Cool.
So there's a little bit of everything that goes on in music, but it's all about expression.
Right.
However you get there, you take a guy that plays spoons.
Exactly. My point.
I mean,
who cares how you make it as long as you're enjoying it and you're making it, man?
Artemis Pyle, I was down in, I think it was North Carolina, and they were doing a show for a benefit for a lady that passed away, Gary Maverick Music Festival, it's called. So he's got a great facility there, but it rained. And he was going to jam with Savannah, the girl I was traveling with at that time, and they couldn't play outside. So he's like, you know what? He goes in with a box, a bucket. It was either a bucket or a box, and a tambourine, and just rocks out. You know what I mean? Just like, and they're back there playing "Give Me 3 Steps" and whatever, and it's like, wow, that just who would ever think of that? But,
right.
But he's killing it. You know? Yeah.
Because he's got it.
He's got it.
He's got it. And you have to make do with whatever you have. It's like I like having the tonal spectrum of a larger drum kit, but I'm not hauling that around.
Oh,
man.
it's a pain in the
I'm
ass.
not going to do it. Not, no, with the Alice Cooper show, I do because,
Well, that's a
there's
little
people
different,
doing
right.
it, But if I'm having to do it, it's a 4-piece kit. And so I'm gotten used to that now, so I can make that work. We're playing Iron Maiden with a 4-piece, I mean,
Nice.
it is what it is.
Right.
Well, and then that Alice Cooper show, you got the drum set, then you got like a guillotine, and you got all these things.
They're
so,
hanging
yeah.
him, and it's pretty exciting. We've been into it for a year, and we're not going to go out until everything is completed.
Perfect, yeah.
And then it's going to be good because it's better. Everybody's kind of at that level where we know what we're going for, as opposed to we're not in a hurry.
You want it to be
The
kick
quality,
ass, right?
yeah.
Instead of going out there
Yeah.
half-assed with it.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
You have to keep us posted on that
Yeah,
one.
for sure.
Yeah, that's kind of under the radar per se. So I don't want to, get, but
It's out of the bag now.
the name's not.
Oh, there you go.
But I was dumb enough to put I built the drum kit because I do all that. I build them myself, and it's fun.
Yeah,
And
he's always customizing. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
comes up with some pretty
I
badass-
enjoyed it. I enjoyed
Yes.
that shit. Like I got my poles painted. And now I found this cool tape I can use and do all this stuff. And but when I do it, it's like that's what I want for this particular thing.
Like
So-
customizing for that band or
Yeah,
whatever, or that
yeah.
project, whatever it may
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
Like with S&P, I'm using a 18-inch kick drum. It's a small, punchy ass little
Wow.
kick drum. Yeah.
But you know what's funny about that? Everybody always thought Tommy Lee used that big ass 26 or
Right.
whatever the hell that was.
Yeah.
That was a set list holder. He had an 18 sitting in behind that.
No kidding.
Why you think that kick drum always sounded tight? A big ass 20 that thing would be like bow wow 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 bow wow wow. Them
Right.
things, but his drum was always.
Yeah, but you don't really think
Real
about that
tight,
when you're
boy.
watching it,
And he had that big little 18
I didn't know-
sitting
I didn't
back
know
there.
that.
I didn't either until I set him up
Yeah, I was
there at
gonna say,
Blossom.
you'd
I was
know,
like,
yeah.
oh,
Well,
you
I can tell you what,
bastard.
man. It's punchy.
Yeah, they're
You can
real
always
tight,
you
boy.
can always get low end.
Uh-huh.
That's just a matter of
Right.
But that punch, it's the
That
magic.
tightness it's got. Yep.
That's
That makes sense. Yeah.
That's where you feel it right here. Mm-hmm. And I'm using these pedals called, like if this is the kick drum, I'm using these pedals called offset. One pedal here is one here, and you got two slaves going, 2 bars that go to the center. That way your beater's right in the center of the kick drum.
Right.
And so I hacked up these Yamaha double pedals because the flaw in that is that they had a sloppy linkage in my opinion.
Uh-huh.
So this Yamaha stuff is like built. And I'm thinking, man, this is going to be brutal if I screw this up.
Yeah.
You're talking about $600 pedal.
Yeah, like, ooh.
But man, now it's about this big, the linkage and the two big the U joints are huge, right?
Nice.
And man, I can fly. It was such a cool thing because now it's
That could be your
badass.
next
nice
patent.
and balanced and everything.
Do what now?
That's your next patent.
No, I tell you what it is though. Well, I'm not going to tell you, but
Right.
I do have a good idea that would solve another.
We'll talk about that off air.
Right.
Once it's done. I mean, it's a simple idea, which is same thing with that strand guard. It's a simple idea, but nobody has ever done it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. But
Well,
yeah, there you go.
Boys, speaking of that, we're getting down, so we got them last 2 questions. The Ed question and the my question. Are you going to do the Ed question?
Well, I'm not Ed, so.
Yeah, so Ed would normally ask, what would the now you tell the 20-year-old you?
Good job, motherfucker.
That's the best answer I've heard.
Good job.
That's the best answer I've
Cool.
heard. Yeah.
And then my question is, would you kill baby Hitler?
No, I wouldn't kill anybody. I'd let the world. That's not my problem.
That's a joke question, but yeah, most people say that.
Yeah.
The real question
Yeah.
is, in the exclusion of Jesus, if you could go back and eat dinner and have conversation with anybody, any time period, no matter where, no matter how, who would it be?
My asshole self would have said Anne Margaret, but because she was hot.
Right.
She's just like, I wouldn't have to talk
I
much to
said
her.
Cleopatra,
You know?
so.
Oh, Cleo.
Mm-hmm.
But it would probably be Paul, the prophet in the Bible.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Yeah,
That's a great
That's a
one.
good one, yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause
There's a
that's-
guy that knows both sides of the spectrum.
Right.
all the way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that would be a compelling. That'd be a long lunch.
Hell yeah, boy.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Be a good one, man.
Yeah.
Sure.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Good
Very
answer.
good.
Yeah. Cool.
If we gave away prizes, you'd just win one. For that.
I'll get a ticket to the gas bed.
Yeah.
Lifetime supply of turtle.
You have
wax.
just won 50 pounds of pelican meat.
But I don't even have a turtle. Right.
Well, this
Thank
was
you.
fun, guys. I
Here all
appreciate it.
week.
It was fun.
All right, we had a good time. We were actually over, man. Almost. We got almost 25 minutes over, but
Wow.
we
Wow,
was
we
worth
did.
there. So, yeah, man, good times. And we're going to have these guys back, SMP, once we get Chicken Coop Live back up and running. We're seemingly, everything seemed good. We had excellent internet.
Yeah.
And, man, what a great show this was. Again, thank you for everybody that hang out. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and do the thing.
Yeah.
And go check out
Myko Man.
MykoMan.com.
Myko, MYKO.
Say hello. Say hello.
Facebook and all that stuff. And
Yeah.
we shall see you next Wednesday at 8 p.m.